You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello and happy Thursday, but biggest of all, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of 2025 with the good doctor joining me, Dr. Will Dodson. How we doing, sir?
I was going to get one of those noisemaker things, but I didn't.
That would have been decent. It is wonderful to see your face. How's the week been?
The what?
How's the week been?
Oh, transmission fell out of the car. Other than that, everything's been great. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to see the potential in the year.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, it's been a rough week too. Some stuff I haven't even shared with you yet. My mom's car got possibly totaled this week.
Oh, shit.
Been giving her some rides. It's been a rough week with the kids, and got over being sick since last week, and here we are doing it all over again.
Kids, man.
Yeah. We got a lot to cover tonight. Normally, I thought this was going to be a fairly slow week, and announcement-wise, it kind of is. But we got some exclusives to talk about tonight. We got a big giveaway to do tonight for Deaf Crocodile. We've got a bunch of new faces in the chat. We got some lists from Will to cover. We got some recent watches, pickups, rants, all kinds of stuff to cover. Man,
we'll address some things.
Yeah, we're going to address a lot of things. One that I wanted to start off with very, very quickly. Will doesn't even know about this one yet. The Physical Media Advocate was due out to everybody yesterday, and we've been delayed by 2 days because our cover artist was in the midst of two different major emergencies in the last week, and it got delayed. But as of literally like 4 minutes before I went live, we got our cover, and a sneak peek for everybody. Here is the cover of the January 1 Physical Media Advocate going out to stores, available on Amazon, starting in the next day and a half. You will be able to pick this up soon. Great piece on the substance. We have a lot going on this, and cannot wait for you to see this issue. It's possibly my favorite yet, which is crazy considering how many we've done. You didn't get a chance to see the substance this year, did you?
Well, I spent a little time with Jeremy Long, so I got the gist of it.
Good to know.
A lot of plastic surgery. People don't realize that. Like all that facial hair that's pasted on.
That is true. We have a big giveaway, like I said, going on tonight, and the Deaf Crocodile giveaway is going to be big. So they are giving away the deluxe edition of Felidae, as seen here. They're also giving away two other standard editions for their animation titles. You're getting Delta Space Mission and Son of the Stars. And now the big thing is you were told that you got to be live to enter this, watching this. And so here is how you figure out. There's going to be a banner on the screen for the next ever so long. We're going to be having this going until the giveaway post comes up in the announcements tonight. And what you're going to do to enter, as you can see here, post on either Twitter or Blue Sky anything positive about any physical media release. Literally anything. Just use the hashtag positivity. Make sure you tag both my account on either Twitter or Blue Sky and Deaf Crocodile on Twitter or Blue Sky. We would love to hear about that. Just anything good. Put some good in the world to start this year. We got to have some sort of a positive spin compared to what we had last year.
For example, I think it's wonderful that people can get 2 different editions of Cannibal the Musical.
That is pretty wonderful.
If they can find one of them.
If you can find one of them. I mean, you can order it direct and pay a bunch to ship.
I kid. We'll talk about that, won't we?
Yes, of course we will. I am stoked on this. We're going to talk about some of those rants, like I said. Recent pickups and watches. You want to go first on pickups?
Pickups. There you go.
He's got too many piles.
Gross. Couple of Kino pickups. Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Nice.
Nothing, no problematic makeup at all. James Whale film by Candlelight, Troy Haworth commentary. Pretty excited about that.
Nice.
This just arrived at my doorstep not 30 minutes before we were set to start. This is from Orbit DVD. The imprint special edition of Sam Peckinpah's The Killer Elite, which includes both cuts.
Incredible release.
Yeah.
Really great release.
A movie that I've not seen before, but have always wanted to see, despite the fact that it has kind of middling reviews. But this is Studio Canal 4K of Red Sun.
Oh, nice.
Pairing Charles Bronson and Toshiro Mifune at last. It'll be a good one to watch. And then last one I'll mention, but we'll probably bring it up again as we talk about the goings on of the past month. Schalk and the Painter. I was just talking about this with somebody, I can't remember who. And I had found it on YouTube and was like, man, this would look really good on Blu-ray. And then turned out it is on Blu-ray. BFI put it out. This is the Sheridan Le Fanu story, done up as a sort of inspired by Christmas ghost stories from the BBC. And then finally, probably my best pickup of the season. You see next to that Godzilla? That is the Full Moon Video Coffin edition of the Subspecies series.
Okay, so this just came back in print. This was only available for a little bit of time before under some Charles Band thing. And then they start advertising the sale in December using the coffin set in their branding. And then it never goes on sale during the sale.
It went on sale.
For like 8 minutes, and they said it was a mistake, and then they righted the price, and it was $160 the rest of the time.
Oh, guess who got the good price? You may be wondering, is there a cute figurine of Radu the Vampire in there? Yes, there is. Does it glow in the dark? It does.
I am quite jealous. I wanted it.
I am a wife or huge Subspecies fan, so yes, very, very happy. So those are the... Oh, well, actually, I guess a sort of pre-Christmas pickup. I got a new media tower.
Nice.
To hold. So Vinegar Syndrome and some partner labels are behind me. And then now that means that Severin and some other part and Blue Underground. So,
as we talk about Severin and some other stuff, why don't we talk about this? Brendan Timmons says,
you got to do your pickups.
Well, hold on. This is important. I think people probably said it before I arrived, but Will, you killed it on Eros Plus Massacre. You want to highlight that happened this month?
Oh, well, thanks for listening. Highlight of 2024 for me. I was a guest on Sam Deegan's podcast, Eros Plus Massacre. It was a 2-part episode. So if you heard part 1, part 2, I believe is now available to the general masses. And we talked about the 12. Well, there's like 6 or 7 official, and then some adjacent ghost stories for Christmas on the BBC. And it was really like my first time talking with Sam. I'd never met her before. Thanks to Mr. Rolodex here, we got in touch to discuss another matter, a possible project. And in the course of talking about that, which my first conversation with her, I had COVID and was like, I was going to cancel the meeting, but I was like, nah, I'll just push through. And then like, I was totally delirious. I have no idea what I said. Hopefully, I guess it wasn't too bad because she came back and was like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? And so we did it. And it was super fun. She was so fun to talk to. Really, really nice person. And a lot of laughing and discussion of necrophilia. So ring in the new year if you haven't heard it
yet. It is an incredible listen. Everybody needs to go listen to Arrows plus Massacre, 2 different episodes. And yeah, it's a really great podcast and made even better by your presence.
See, I got her to make fun of a partner release, an OCN release.
I wanted to talk about the fact that I had, this is going to be ridiculous, but treating physical media as currency, I had used, sorry, Craig, Deaf Crocodile releases to pay for some art for the Physical Media Advocate earlier this year. Somebody needed slipcovers, and so I was happy that the 2 I traded away, they just recently did on Diabolic DVD, and I could replace that they're doing. So those are my 2 big pickups of this week. I now once again have slipcovers on everything, and I think I covered. Oh no, there is one more that I did not highlight on here that I wanted to shout out, and we're going to talk about it later tonight because of the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards. But the big one for me from this year from Scream Factory, which I don't ever give love to. Everybody needs to check out their release of Hush 4K. This is a 4-disc set, looks incredible, delivers on the special features, delivers on 2 different cuts of the film, both in 4K. This is the release of the year for me from Shout that isn't a Hong Kong box set. Other than those, this is exactly the type of quality I would love to see from them. It's obviously a great movie, but to see it moved up from streaming to physical and have the improvement there is mind-blowing. It is so much better than what we ever saw before. And now you get this brand new cut that is like shockingly creepy with how they did it. And I think people need to check that out too, because it's not getting enough love. That release is kind of amazing.
Cool. I want to point out some people in the show confirmed you froze up for a little bit. And I just want to reassure the audience that if Ryan loses his connection, I am prepared to step in with alternative content. I was doing some cleaning and reshuffling of boxes and getting some stuff to sell. And so I've got like my entire TV collection out. So I'll just show you like my favorite shows. If Ryan disappears, I won't be able to do the announcements, but I'll just be like, here's a TV show I like. It's good, and we'll go through the best episodes.
I don't understand how I froze when I'm literally hardwired into Google Fiber right now, but oops.
I tell you what, I know who's doing it too. It's those dogies. They're coming for you.
Recent watches. I know you got some interesting ones to discuss for this week as well. What do you got for us?
Oh, I don't know.
You're so prepared.
I am prepared. So again, I watched some newer streaming movies, so I'll talk about those at the end. But the few that I just picked out, I watched the anthology horror film XX.
Oh,
right, which is advertised as the first horror anthology completely written and directed by women filmmakers. But despite that, it's actually quite good.
I was try to let it marinate for a second.
No, this was awesome. I picked it up because Karen Kusama has a film in here. I love Karen Kusama. She was actually the only filmmaker I was familiar with until I discovered that Annie Clark is that Annie Clark. St. Vincent directed one of the shorts in here, and it's actually pretty good. All of them are very good. If you haven't seen XX, I highly recommend it. Really, really good horror anthology. Deserves to be talked about a little bit more, I think. Our buddy Sidney J. Fury. I watched the Ipcris File, the first of the, what's his name? Harry Palmer.
Yes.
Right. I should never forget that name. Harry Palmer films with young Michael Caine. Kind of like the anti-James Bond in that it's like he makes mistakes. He gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like constantly. And it's very sad at the end. But I enjoyed it. Beautifully shot. I've been watching, I know you're going to love this. I've been watching a lot of pre-stardom John Wayne movies, and I'm going to share two of them for reasons of interest. The first I watched, this is from 1934, directed by George Sherman? No, directed by Harry Fraser. Neath, Arizona Skies, not underneath, Neath, Arizona Skies. And all of these Olive Films put out a bunch of these pre-stardom John Wayne movies. All of them are under an hour, so they're like perfect when you're falling asleep. Nice. But this one is particularly interesting because here's the story. 1934, John Wayne plays a kindly white guy who is the guardian of a Native American girl who owns a shit ton of oil land. It's the stuff that Killers of the Flower Moon is about. And it even has a title card that like mentions the Osage and Apache and a couple other tribes who fall under this. So it just goes to show you that this was, all this shit was common knowledge.
Right.
So basically, a bunch of ne'er-do-wells find out that this young indigenous girl has all this land with oil on it, and so they're trying to murder her. And John Wayne's got to save her. So that was fun. And then I watched Overland Stage Raiders, 1938. This is one of his 8 Three Musketeers movies. This is interesting primarily for being the final film of Louise Brooks of Pandora's Box fame. Here she's just like a regular gal in the Old West. But that was her final film. Okay, then I watched a bunch of stuff on streaming that like melted my head. I watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And was like,
I didn't see that yet.
I was like, this was directed by the guy who did Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Are you serious? It sucks. So then I was like, okay, the studio must have done it to him. Maybe one of his other Hollywood movies is good. So I watched Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which he also did. And it actually was okay. But it had a really stupid ending. What's the director's name? It is Andre Overdahl. He did Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe, both of which are great. Last Voyage of the Demeter, did not care for. Cool concept, I guess.
Troll Hunter was interesting.
Troll Hunter's awesome. I think that's might be my favorite found footage movie. I watched one of the dumbest horror movies ever last night. Countdown. Have you seen this?
Oh no. It looked so bad I didn't even try.
About the app that tells you when you're gonna die. and you're in a weird place when Tom Segura plays a pivotal role in the movie's plot as a Radio Shack employee or whatever he is. Best Buy, I don't know. I don't recommend Countdown. I saw, because this is my jam. I saw Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and who's the hitman?
Oh yes,
Glenn Howerton? No, that's the guy.
No, that's Always Sunny.
Yeah, Glenn Powell.
Powell, that's his name. Yeah, we worked together.
There you go, Ronnie.
Jeez.
So there have been 410 adaptations of Shakespeare to grace the silver screen. This was the most profitable Shakespeare adaptation in the history of Shakespeare adaptations. It's a loose version of Midsummer Night, Much Ado About Nothing. Mm-hmm. There's really only two reasons to watch this movie. So I also
we're gonna ask to be canceled again, like the last time you were on.
Last two. The last two I actually liked. One of them I read about in Fangoria called "Don't Move."
Don't know that one.
Let's see. What can I say without spoiling it? This lady's going to kill herself. And this guy talks her out of jumping off the mountain. And then he injects her with a paralytic substance so that he can torture her to death. And despite the fact that she can't move for most of the movie, she manages to get away from him quite a bit. So I liked it. I like Don't Move. Cinder's right. I was referring to Glenn Powell's balls. Jeremy's also right. There are things to like about Anyone But You. It's just that I don't feel they pull off the unreality of the play. They either needed to adapt it to be more realistic or go somewhere more fanciful. It's also about like super rich people, so I hated them all.
Was that what you were supposed to do?
No, I think you're supposed to think they're cute and want them to.
Oh, well, that's not as fun.
The last movie I watched on streaming, which I liked quite a bit, was Smile 2.
Great movie.
The first Smile, I think I mentioned before, I took my wife to see, and it hit her in like every way possible. Like she could barely make it out of the theater. Smile 2, the main character's name is my wife's name.
That's true.
And it's like even worse in terms of how it would hit her. So I had to tell her not to watch it. But I was impressed. I can't remember the name of the actress who plays the main character in Smile 2, but she was great.
I think it's Naomi Scott.
Yeah. She was just in like some teeny no, she was Jasmine in the live action Aladdin.
Oh.
Which I didn't see, so that's why I didn't know who she was.
I didn't know that.
So how about you? Did you see anything up?
I did. I am trying to remember what I talked about last week. So I think the last thing I talked about was Nosferatu. So I have a few.
Oh, was that good?
It was. I mean, I like the more unpolished Robert Eggers. So his first two really hit for me, but Northman and this one feel a little too Hollywood-ish. But it's still a good movie. It's not necessarily bad or anything. It's just, just a little too Hollywood. So this week, a couple big ones. I finally caught up with Monkey Man from this year, the Dev Patel directorial debut action flick. Very, very well done. We actually watched this as part of the Patreon watch along for the month. was a really great time. It was a fun movie to watch as a group and then discuss after. Really liked how the action in it was important and like culturally relevant with the story that they were telling. I was pretty impressed to see a lot of the choreography be great. Dev Patel, hell of a director for his first feature. John actually is the one that spurred on this watch as he was leaving this house last week. We talked about how I hadn't seen Monkey Man yet, and I needed to. And I said, "Yeah, we're all going to watch it together with the Patreon this week." It was a damn good time. Pretty decent action. I'm not as steeped in like action movie Twitter like a lot of people, but if you are not super stickler about all that, I thought it was a really well made movie. The only thing that I could say, really, the ending probably a little anticlimactic if you're a huge action fan. It was meant to be. It feels like it was meant to be a little more emotional than like, oh, he's fighting the big bad now. So yeah, decent movie. I feel like the ending is going to make some people upset. Yeah. Next one, I got around to the partner label release of the Coffee Table. Showed this to my mom and my not my sister, my mom and my wife.
Don't get that mixed up now.
I was telling my sister about that one. This is a weird one because I walked away feeling not sure if I witnessed a masterpiece or something that I hated, and it's just sort of been something that I've considered every day since I saw it. It's definitely not left my mind. The biggest thing is this is a movie about mounting tension, and if you're not into that sort of thing, it's not going to work for you. Yes, I know tension was your high school girlfriend's name, Will. I get it. It is... It was decent enough. It was a very simple plot, obviously. Adam says Coffee Table is family viewing. It is in this house. My mom watches everything with us for the most part. I will choose some things to not watch with her the nights that she's going to be here. But other than that, yeah.
What was that movie you posted on Instagram today? The neon crotch lady?
We'll talk about that during announcements tonight.
Hey, Mom, check this one out.
The other thing, watched the brand new Nicole Kidman movie Baby Girl this week, and it felt like a nice bookend to obviously another risque title that she worked early in her career that got her a lot of feedback and feeling with Eyes Wide Shut. It wasn't necessarily a similar film, but it certainly gives similar vibes. I thought it was really well acted. I know that there's some, I don't know, contrivances in the film, but it's literally about a cougar CEO trying to like explore sexuality with a younger, essentially like intern level colleague, and there's a lot of stuff that they should have been caught multiple times in this movie doing the things that they did. But yeah, really love this actually. I thought it was quite well written for the most part, as long as you suspend the disbelief of them not getting caught. But other than that, nice to see actually, especially a movie really take the risk that it did with this, putting that out right now with a lot of like film Twitter and the younger generation turning away and getting more prudish towards some of that stuff, which I will never understand. But yeah, Baby Girl was good.
It's the meds.
That might be a part of it.
These young people ain't got libidos no more.
Last thing I'll shout out, my kids. We have been struggling to find a movie to catch my kids' attention for like the last 3 months. Everything that we've showed them has not hit. Suddenly this week, I had the brilliant idea to remember that the movie Night of the Museum existed, and my kids have fallen in love with it. And now we've already watched the first two, and my wife never knew there was a third one. And I guess there's an animated fourth film. And my children have already said that these are scheduled over the next few days. So we will be finishing out that franchise. It's been fun. There's so many faces in both of those movies.
Yeah. And Ben Stiller mounts tension.
Is that the name of the horse? All right. Reminder to anybody that came in late, there is the banner going across the bottom to enter the Deaf Crocodile giveaway. Please post either on Twitter or Blue Sky. Literally anything positive about any physical media release. Doesn't have to be Deaf Crocodile related. Anything at all. Use the hashtag positivity and tag both the Disconnected and Deaf Crocodile. We will be checking in on that, and Craig will choose us a winner when we get to that point in the show.
Jeremy says, damn, I've always had a soft spot for Night of the Museum franchise. Yeah, in your skull. Because it never grew over.
Let's see. I don't know. Jeremy is texting me saying that I missed a comment about Nicole Kidman. Is it just this?
Was
he
it
surprised that I loved Baby Girl?
Halloween related? Or Howling 3 related?
Anyways, I don't know what's going on. I will leave it there because I didn't see anything.
Well, speaking of new watches, I was just going up to see if Josie DeMarco just put a bunch of movies that she had seen and was asking if we'd seen any of them. Jeez, only Cat Ballou. That's a huge list of movies I want to see. I definitely want to see the 1967 Bedazzled that Stanley Donen did.
Well, I was going to ask you about. She was listing some awards for some of her first time watches, and Strange Days ran away with a bunch of them. Have you seen Strange Days?
Oh, that was that. Was that Catherine Bigelow?
Catherine Bigelow, yeah.
Pump movie. I saw that back in my video store days on a VHS. I need to watch that again. I don't remember much about it.
It's a good one. We really need a boutique release of that Near Dark already.
Female Trouble. That's a good one. Yeah, I've seen that one many times. Yeah, a bunch of these, though, I've never seen before. She's got good taste.
There is Jeremy's comment. Jeremy says somehow exploring sexuality feels good in a place like this. It was an AMC joke. Nice.
This is a safe space. Oh, AMC.
Yeah.
No.
All right. You want to get into any of your lists or rants before we do announcements for the week?
Oh, it's your show, man. You tell me how you want to do things.
I'm just here to support you. I know that you need loved ones in a time like this.
Oh, man, it's been so stressful. And, you think about it, like, what are we stressing about? A
lot of bullshit.
We're in a global population decline, which is great news for the climate. But nothing means anything. We're here for a while and then we're gone. And so what's important is that we spend time together and try to love one another. And I can definitely say that I feel positively towards many of you in the chat.
I love the word positivity tonight, just going everywhere.
Well, I don't just throw around love willy-nilly like some kind of wonton tension mounter.
I love that the word choice is going to be the joke of the night already. Plan 9 reciprocates, says love you too.
Yeah, no, I love you guys. It's weird, like last year, and I mean, I'm not talking about all the political things, I know it upsets people.
As you wear a rainbow shirt.
Or any of the, well, this is pure virtue signaling on the part of someone, but like, this came out at a certain time. It hasn't been. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, 2024 was such a weird year. You got all the politicking things going on and the general slide into dictatorships. But, like, are democracies any better? Who can say? And then there's, all the wars and everything and people dying. I won't get into it. You all know what I'm talking about. You can Google. And Google actually started a coup. But anyway, all that stuff's happening. But then we just think about our own day-to-day lives, right? Like, all that matters is the price of eggs, and or if you're a vegetarian, the price of legumes. And my point is, like, the day-to-day of 2024 was this weird combination of like best year ever and worst year ever. And we talked about it several times over the course of the year. Like, we were well aware that 2024 was both the best and the worst year that we were living through. And at least I know you and I felt that way many times. And I'm sure others have felt about it. And I'm getting a call to talk about films, to which I'll reply,
all of this affects films.
We're getting there.
Not to mention,
go take a pee break if you don't like what I'm saying.
You and I share a lot of those sentiments about physical media too. Like, it was one of the best years of physical media ever, but also a lot of not great signs. And we're going to talk about a lot of that after the announcements.
Yeah, and that's actually a prelude to some of the discussion that we're going to have later about the future of physical media and the feelings that some people in the industry have about the future of physical media. And all right, I'll dance for whoever wants me to dance. What's the first announcement of the week?
Well, the first announcement of the week, we've already covered a bunch of other stuff, so we'll just we'll let that be for now. But
household silent animal rules. It's funny. Like 100 people will say something nice, and then one person says something mean, and it ruins your whole day. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about that, the whole sort of spectrum of feelings about this last year in physical media, because there's a lot of great things, a lot of good trends, also some things to worry about. So we're going to discuss those in full. We're obviously deep dive on Shelf Shock Rewind tonight. We're going to discuss a bunch of stuff that Will wants to see on Blu-ray and above, possibly.
Yeah, I got more than 10, I'll tell you that.
As usual. All right. On that point, let's get started. We got.
Sorry, Barry the Tick said, "Was it you?" And I want to say, Tick, if it was you, I didn't see it.
Will wants to say the Chad was great.
Yeah, the chat's great. Listen, I'm just a person like the rest of you. I mean, sure, I was on a 2-part episode of Aerosplis Massacre, which was kind of a big deal. But other than that, I'm a person just like the rest of you. And I'm just happy to be here, talking to the regular people.
Yeah.
Trying to stay grounded. Holding space is what I'm doing.
Fireside chats.
I'm holding space with all of the lyrics in the chat.
By the way, what I said was, no, the Chad was great, not the chat. That was a Charlie's Angels reference based on Barry's comment was, what is it me? Anyways.
Oh.
Let's talk about Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, which is coming on 4K from Kino soon, eventually. This was a Blu-ray release by Imprint in Australia, but we got it coming from 4K, from Kino on 4K. How do you feel about this movie?
So I got a story about this that has nothing to do with it. The director of Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead also did a movie called Runaway Jury, right? 2003 with John Cusack, Dustin Hoffman, Gene Hackman, and Rachel Weisz. And there's some other people too. But I had no reason ever to see Runaway Jury. And then I'm listening to the Black Friday podcast of Severin Films, and they're talking to this Claire Donner, who, with the perfect name for it, specializes in cannibal films, and she did the commentaries for some of their cannibal movies and essays and stuff like that. And I wasn't familiar with her work previously, but I thought she was a great interview subject. And so I followed her on Instagram, like as you do these days, to try to make connections and stuff. And the first thing that comes across my screen after following her is her talking about seeing Runaway Jury because there was a Beetlejuice joke in it. And she said in the post, the Beetlejuice joke is not funny. And also has no reason to be in the movie. And that's what intrigued me. So I sat through this 2 hour and 15-minute long movie. And boy, you want to talk about politicking. This was woke before woke was woke. It's a bunch of do-gooders trying to sue the gun industry. And originally the movie was going to be do-gooders suing tobacco industry, but the Insider came out while the movie was in development. So they were like, oh shit, we got to sue somebody else. Guns. And and because it's a fantasy, they win. But anyway, there's this Beetlejuice joke in there that has nothing to do with anything. And Claire was right. It's not funny, but I saw it anyway. And I'm not going to tell you what the joke is, just in case someone else can take on the curse. This is my version of Smile.
Not to mention, this is the longest story not about things to do in Denver when you're dead, about things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Well, okay. Like things to do in Denver when you're dead, Runaway Jury is super derivative.
I really enjoy things to do in Denver when you're dead. Fun freaking movie. Great cast. Andy Garcia, Christopher Walken, Christopher Lloyd, Bill Forsythe, Bill Nunn, Treat Williams, Steve Buscemi, Fairuza Bulk, can't speak, Bill Cobbs, Jenny McCarthy, Don Cheadle. Fun cast.
Oh, wait, I don't think I've seen this. What am I talking about? I was talking about an Eric Stoltz movie.
No idea.
Well, anyway, same director as Runaway Jury.
All right, let's go to the next title. Crack in the World from 1965, coming on Blu-ray from Kino someday.
Well, that's how you mount tension. That's the avenue.
That is the avenue. I know you wanted to talk about this Technicolor Joy. Tell us about Crack in the World.
I love the tagline. Thank God it's only a motion picture. I haven't seen it. Who made this one?
This is Andrew Martin.
Yeah, no idea.
All right.
But it looks like a disaster movie. That's my
take.
Considered opinion.
Says science miscalculates underground atom bomb, explodes Earth's core, and the world totters on the brink of destruction. How is that?
Totters? It doesn't teeter?
No.
It goes straight to tottering.
It's quite a leap.
Holy shit. I mean, it's one thing to teeter, but you totter. That's like a whole new level of emergency.
Not to mention the second tagline. Today's terrifying. Look into what might happen tomorrow.
Whoa, that's messing with that's Incredible Kreskin wrote this.
Oh man. All right. Wow. Going to our next one. We're just teeing up Will for jokes all night. Paul from 2011 getting a 4K release from Kino soon. This is directed by Greg Mottola, who also did Superbad, starring Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. What do you think about this one?
I heard it was super bad. I haven't seen
it. This movie is a damn lot of fun. It's not a masterpiece, but it's fun for sure.
Okay.
Stan, nothing revealed on the Paul release yet. I hope they do at least a commentary, but we shall see.
Well, if it's an alien invasion, I would hide my Crack in the World. Otherwise, you might get probed.
Posse For a lot of people, this is the announcement of the week. This is coming on Blu-ray from Kino from 1975, 4K scan of the OCN, starring Kirk Douglas, Bruce Dern, Bo Hopkins. I'm sure you've seen this one.
I have not, but I am prepared to be knocked off my horse.
Yeah, I've not seen Posse either, but damn fine cast.
Great tagline so far this episode. Posse begins like most Westerns. It ends like none of them. It will knock you off your horse. You'll totter.
It goes straight to tottering.
You'll totter all the way off.
All right. Coming in late February from the Severance site, it'll get a March 25th wide release. They are releasing a Blu-ray collection of the Blood Island films. Now, this is surprising because many of you might remember they released the complete Blood Island films, 4 years ago? 3.5 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, it came with a drink stir and a recipe for...
Sure did.
For mixed drink. I can't remember the name of it, but I tried it.
Came with a Blood Island swizzle stick.
That's right.
This is coming out, and what they said here is all 4 films have been scanned uncut in 4K with improved color and audio. There are no new special features, but all of the extras carry over. So this whole package now is everything that was released in the first box set in a smaller package for your shelf at a cheaper price point in higher quality.
I listened to the Severin podcast today, actually, in which they discussed this, and it sounds like an almost complete restoration of one of the films. I forget which one. And then significant improvements to the other 3. So listening to Andrew Furtado talk about it sounded like this is more than just a cash grab. Like it's an actual restoration that happily is half the width of their original box set. And as Craig was pointing out, my new tower is already full. Making room might be worth it.
Yeah, the shelf space argument is a huge argument nowadays. I kind of want to get this for sure. It sounds like a pretty big undertaking, and I had heard that they might have been working on this. So this must have been something they've been doing for quite some time now.
I got to tell you, and I say this not shilling because I don't have anybody to shill for.
As you wear a Severin shirt, I just want to point out.
Well, I just happen to have it. It's odd, but no, I was looking at the nominees for the Shelf Shock Rewind and like thinking about the annual slate.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a tough call. Severin had an incredible year, but so did several other of the bigger labels. It's going to be hard to decide.
Even some of the smaller slate labels, that one is really, really close too. Colt wants to know, think we'll see update versions of the Hemispheres vampire films? I'm going to guess no on those ones, unless they didn't say anything on the podcast episode, I assume.
No, I mean, no, they didn't.
As far as I'm aware, they had the best elements at the time. I don't see those getting a big update like this ever. I could see them maybe getting like a Region B release eventually, but we'll see.
They did say some things that made me pretty excited about 2025, though.
Yep, always excited about their stuff.
And those things both begin with F.
Franco.
And Frost.
More Frost.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's go to our next one, which is Promise Her Anything from 1966, coming on Blue from Kino someday eventually. Brand new HD master, starring Warren Beatty, Leslie Caron, Robert Cummings, directed by Arthur Hiller.
I love Leslie Caron.
All right.
I have not seen this. Looks like, it looks pretty typical of 60s rom-coms. Harass and assault until she gives in.
Promise her anything, but take her to our picture first. All right.
Stuffino75 says it's not pronounced Karen. Please regale me with the correct pronunciation.
Caron.
Is it Caron?
I don't know. I just speaking off. That was pretty accurate. Stan says Caron. All right.
I'm fucking looking it up.
Ronnie wants to know why Warren Beatty looks like James Garner there. Yeah, I could see that a little bit.
Huh. Well, the internet says Karen. You hear that?
Yes. Stefano says, love you millennials not knowing how to produce older actors' names. For the record, I believe Will is firmly Gen X. As he literally can't figure out how to unmute.
No, I knew how to unmute. I was listening to a French guy. The French guy said Caron.
Okay.
But the English person said Karen. But the French guy said Caron. So,
thanks, Adam. Super.
I love Leslie Caron.
All right, let's go to our next one. Deaf Crocodile's big release for this month. This is coming on Blu-ray, shipping at the end of January. It is The Cathedral of New Emotions from 2006. This is the box art, and this is one that we actually teased way back when we were in LA. As you might recognize some of the imagery here that Craig was speaking about on our show. And then here is the front cover of the standard edition. This one is on a short list with Belladonna of Sadness and Fantastic Planet. It's one of the most surreal, psychedelic, truly cosmic animated features ever made. We got some short films on this as well. New commentary by historian Rolf Giesen. New visual essay by Stephen Broomer from Canada. And then, of course, the deluxe edition is going to have a 60-page booklet. We'll have a new essay by Alexander McDonald and the resident Walt Cha, who is in every single release. Yes, this is included in your sub, Silent Mandible. If you are a subscriber, you will be getting this for the month of January.
Laughing at the chat. Yeah, very excited to see this. The tease that we got last summer was pretty awesome. Oh, I forgot to say, since Stan mentioned it, I did watch. Did I say that last time? I watched Alien Romulus.
You did not update us on that, no.
Okay, so I've now completed the series. I liked the class commentary. And there's a great sequence of zero gravity alien blood. Like she blows away a couple aliens and then turns off the gravity so their acid blood is floating and she has to like go through it. So the porn parody is just going to be awesome.
Alien Bromulus.
Oh, that's awful.
There's probably something better we could do there. What's going on, Sam?
Well, anyway, I didn't hate it. I had expected it to be scarier and bloodier, but it wasn't. But I would put it in the top 4 of the series.
Nice. All right. That was Deaf Crocodile's title.
I can't wait to see this shit, man.
It looks really good. Yeah.
I wonder what emotions they're going to be. I mean, they'll all be new to me.
Yes. Alien Remurbos, Alien Rimulus.
Yeah, I figured that's where people are going to go.
Mine was the softcore version, I guess.
Probably.
Hey, February 3rd, BBC in the UK is releasing Gavin and Stacey, the complete collection. For all you James Corden fans, you can pick this up.
Oh, celebrate the man's entire catalog.
Supposedly, and I'm not going to say I've ever seen this, but supposedly they just did an updated like Christmas special, and it made a bunch of people like genuinely weepy because it was so good. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Whatever. Well, that's a specialty of British sitcoms, is they'll do like a special or a final episode that like manipulates people into being sad. I mean, they do that in everything from Blackadder to The Office, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I will say this, and I don't want to be controversial or anything, but I fucking hate James Corden. I've never met him. I never will meet him. And like, maybe he's a great person in real life. Don't really care. Like I have a visceral reaction to his voice and just the sight of him that makes me angry. Angry is not the right word. I think I actually need to watch The Cathedral of New Emotions to get the right vocabulary for how I feel about James Corden.
All right. Did we dig into him enough?
I mean,
probably not.
There's all kinds of, you know how like the news media likes to write stories taking down celebrities because that's how the news media spends its time. So there have been plenty of takedowns of James Corden. I don't need to pile on. Like right now, my main concern is, you know, the reputation of Blake Lively. That's what I've been thinking. You know, fuck the elections. What about Blake Lively? Is she okay?
Just discussed that on another show. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, don't get this twisted. I'm Team Lively. I have no doubt she is telling the truth about what happened.
Yeah. When you're making those kind of demands, it's pretty obvious.
I like Blake Lively.
Yeah, she does good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Fun City Editions. This is the next one. Baby It's You from 1983, coming on Blu-ray in 2025 from Fun City with Rosanna Arquette and Vincent Spano. You ran away. I feel like you wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I love Baby It's You. It is so... Boy, talk about getting emotional. Like, you will laugh and cry. And it'll be a totally authentic reaction. Because John Sayles is a masterful filmmaker. The performances are absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that this is getting a real release, a real boutique release. And I call upon the rest of the boutiques to give us Brother from Another Planet, Casa de los Babies, Men with Guns, Limbo, Liana, Return of the Secaucus 7, Passion Fish, Silver City, and any other John Sayles movies that have not yet been released in high definition. Secret of Roan Inish. The list goes on and on. I love John Sayles. I love this movie in particular. It's a great love story, coming of age movie. Plus, Stan knows somebody who's in it. I want 2025 to be a Sayles Assance.
Well said.
That's it.
Yes, Baby It's You was released on Olive, like a decade ago now.
Yeah.
It was not a good restoration or anything like that. This is going to be much, much better, guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, Ronnie. Give us Leanna. You know what? Cinematograph, if they had done Leanna instead of Go Fish, it would have sold better. Maybe. But you should buy Go Fish, too. It's a good movie. I stand for goldfish. Go fish. Also goldfish.
Oh, well, that was a lot. All right, next title. Wicked from this last year is, we got some some details on this one. Coming on February 4th in a Walmart exclusive 4K steelbook, a standard 4K, Blu-ray, DVD. There's that giant limited edition gift set they're doing as well. But the biggest thing is when these things make money, they actually sometimes put attention and care into the extras. This thing is going to have a fuck ton of them. You've got 2 different commentaries coming on this, a full sing-along version, a bunch of deleted and extended scenes, a good 3 or 4 different featurettes. This is the way to do a studio release. Love that they're adding so much onto this.
Okay.
I mean, just because it may not be for you, I'm glad that they're putting attention into a studio physical.
Yeah, but because it's not for me, I don't care.
You can still advocate for it, Will. Positivity.
No, I'm an American. I only care about what directly affects me right now.
Touche. So right now, let's talk about Truth Be Told, coming on February 25th on Blu-ray from 5th Season. Now, this one, as far as I can tell, is interesting because 5th Season is the production company that put this on Apple TV. And so you can pick this up going straight from streaming to Blu-ray. Glad we're getting another one. This show included Aaron Paul, Kate Hudson, Gabrielle Union, and Octavia Spencer. And sounds pretty good. Did anybody see this? Because I kind of want to see this.
I've never heard of this, but wait, I have a more important question. Colton Welkin, where in Kentucky are you from? I didn't know. Did I mispronounce go fish?
Well, you said gold.
Goldfish. Goldfish. Yeah. Appalachian word of the day. Go fish. Hey. Hey, man. You got any money? No, go fish.
Oh, yeah, Colton, definitely tell Will where you are. Oh, there you go. Cave County originally, but live in Louisville.
Oh, well, you probably think you live in Ohio then. Louisville. People in Louisville think they're in the big city. They're Louisville. You know what I love about Kentucky is the pronunciations. It's Louisville, but if you drive down the road a little ways, you'll be in Versailles. I love living in Kentucky. Other than the crushing poverty, rampant illiteracy and abuse of the extractive coal companies. Other than that, it's a wonderful place. No, I loved Kentucky. I used to go to you go to Louisville for culture. When you need culture, you go to Louisville. The rest of the time, you just try to survive.
All right, that is Truth Be Told. Next up, Kino updating their Deep Star 6 release to go 4K soon. This is a good movie. I think this might be Sean Cunningham's best movie. How do you feel about Deep Star 6?
It's probably his best movie.
It's a good one.
I need to see it again. I haven't seen it since the VHS days, and now it's 4K. Wow.
Soon, yes. Yeah, this comes from the year of aquatic horror, of course, 1989, when some of the biggest ones came out. Yeah, damn good movie, I think. Most people that have never seen it, I think you'd appreciate it. And now if you don't have the other blue, this is the best time to get it.
So you can now get 3 Sean S. Cunningham films in 4K. His segment in Trapped Ashes, Deep Star 6, and Friday the 13th. I can't think of many filmmakers who have that high a percentage of their filmography so lovingly remastered.
Good point. How many of his?
Yeah, because he didn't direct that many movies.
No, he didn't.
Like he's got more 4Ks than Wes Craven at this point. That's not true because I think he's tied.
Never mind. Next, The Convert from 2023 getting a Blu-ray release in the UK from Vertigo Releasing. This stars Guy Pearce. This is coming on January 27th, and this one's supposedly pretty good. I don't think it's been available in the U.S. much yet. It says, when a lay preacher played by Guy Pearce, not Gay Pearce, Guy Pearce arrives at a British settlement in 1830s New Zealand, his violent past is drawn into question and his faith put to the test as he finds himself caught in the middle of a bloody war between Maori tribes. Yeah, this is supposedly decent.
Lay preachers are my favorite kind.
Especially when played by Gay Pearce.
Yeah. That dude's handsome, man.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff.
I'll give it up.
Oh, that's right. Apple TV Plus doing their free preview weekend this weekend.
What do they have?
I kind of want to jest and say not a lot, but the truth is I just don't have Apple TV, so I don't see it. They've got that Ted Lasso show. They've got that Kurt Russell's kid in the Godzilla show.
Oh, that is terrible, dude. I tried. It's horrid.
A bunch of people love it.
Oh, they're brainwashed. They're just like kaiju. Good. It's not good. It's terrible.
The big show though is Severance. Severance season 1, and then season 2 just released.
Oh, that's the one where you didn't we talk about this before?
Well, the first season's getting a Blu-ray release, so we might have talked about it for that.
That's the one where you go to work and you're one person, and then you get off of work and you're a different person.
That's just America.
Yeah, sounded like a great show.
A bunch of people love an Apple TV Plus, it sounds like, in the chat.
Well,
Napoleon, Tragedy of Macbeth. I didn't know they had Tragedy of Macbeth.
It's got that Ted Lasso.
It's true.
Yeah.
And like Cloudmate said, I've heard great things about Slow Horses. Kills of the Flower Moon, definitely worth it, Matthew, if you haven't seen it yet. Platonic. Good to know.
Or you can watch Neath the Arizona Skies, and it's only 55 minutes, and it's pretty much the same story.
Gay Pearce is in the version on Melusine. Good. I'll pick that up. Speaking of Melusine, let's get to our Vinegar Syndrome announcements. This, of course, is smack dab right now in the middle of Subscriber Week, so we're going to be covering stuff this week and more titles coming out to discuss next week. If you have questions about all the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, I know one of the big lingering things, not everybody has Facebook, but Vinegar Syndrome posted on Facebook that and it's crazy that we're still talking about this, but Black Friday sale posts, those are going out by next week at the latest. If you don't have yours yet, fear not. Don't send an email until about a week from tomorrow, which is crazy that it will last that long. That's about 6 weeks total. But yes, it is a lot. Any questions while we go through this, let us know. First up, 4K from Vinegar Syndrome as part of their VSU line is Virtuosity from 1995. This is one of their big fancy magnet clasp box releases with a slip on the inside and a big book. Virtuosity is from 95, starring Denzel, Russell Crowe, Tracy Lords, amongst some other big names. This has a commentary with Brett Leonard and Jim Branscombe, commentary with Walt Cha on this one as well, some interviews, and then we've got a featurette on assembling the cast, and then, of course, the booklet, like I mentioned. Virtuosity, Will.
Tracy Lords is in it?
Tracy Lords is in this.
Well, I might check it out then. I don't know. I'm sympathetic to some commenters on various boards who are like, I'd like to see Virtuosity, but like $60 or whatever the price point is if you're not a subscriber. What is it like? So if you're a subscriber, it's like 40?
It's like 38, something like that, 40.
Wow. That's a lot for Virtuosity. I mean, that's like going to a theater with a friend and paying for it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Getting popcorn. But it's 4K. It's got a magnet. There's a magnet in it. I don't know about that cover art. It's okay, I guess.
It's busy for sure.
It's the guy who directed Lawnmower Man, right?
Yes.
Well, depends on how you feel about the Lawnmower Man.
Sid wants to know, I want to know how Will feels about the Shuttle Vonnegut. Shuttle? Vonnegut reference with every title announcement? Huh?
I think you meant subtle.
Yes, he did.
Which, do you know what that word means, Sidner?
Oh, man.
What's the subtle Vonnegut reference? I guess it's too subtle for me. So it goes.
Yeah, I have not seen this one, I don't think. This one eluded me.
It slipped through the crack in the world.
At least it's only a motion picture. All right, we'll go to our next one.
Oh, yeah.
Deranged, The Confessions of a Necrophile in 4K from Vinegar Syndrome this month. This one is newly scanned and restored in 4K. We get a commentary with the writer and co-director, a commentary with Tom Savini, commentary with Richard Harlan Smith, interview with the special effects artist Tom Savini, Brian Smeagol, interview with Nightmare USA author Stephen Thrower, archival documentary. And this is one that's had a few releases before, but if you've never had it before, this looks to be the one to get. Play on the Ed Gein story. How do you feel about Deranged?
This is like the closest to the actual Ed Gein story.
Yes.
I really like this movie. I'm very excited about this release. My big Christmas present from my wife was permission to renew my subscription. And I was not sure if I was going to do it, even with permission. But then when I saw this, I was like, man, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Bringing in the politics. Look at that.
It goes with the title. Look at that.
I love Deranged, though. If you haven't seen Deranged, highly recommend. And yes, right. Robert Blossom was in Home Alone. He's deranged in this movie. He's estranged in that movie.
Perfect. All right. This next one is pretty big for a bunch of people. Curse of the Devil, The Vampire's Night Orgy, and Demon Witch Child from 1973 and 1975, all coming in a 3-disc region-free set. Paul Naschy, obviously a big one for many fans of physical media. These are presented in their original Spanish language soundtracks with newly translated English subs, along with their English language dubs on these. You've got some interviews on this, including with Angel Sala from the Sitges Film Festival. Sergio Molina, son of Paul Naschy, is interviewed as well. You get some alternate scenes. Yeah, this looks like a mighty big release, especially for somebody like Will.
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited to get rid of my old DVD. Big fan of Curse of the Devil. Haven't seen the other two, but hey, looks great. Vampire's Night Orgy, which, I mean, it's to be assumed. Don't really need to specify what time of day it's going to be.
Yeah, this looks like a fun release.
You just say Vampire's Orgy and people will get the drift.
Yeah, it doesn't happen at 11 a.m.
Right.
All right. That is the Naschy title. Next up, The Seventh Curse and Witch from Nepal. Double feature coming from Vinegar Syndrome. Here is the outer box and the inner slipcover that would be on this one. The Seventh Curse got a hard box release from 88 Films just a few years ago, and that was a perhaps slightly blown out of proportion, but slightly controversial release based on the quality of the audio. And this one is not only including a second film, but this is newly color graded and restored by VS from the Studio Supplied Masters. This has a new commentary by Frank Jang, newly translated English subs, new commentary with Sam Deegan and Mike White. Mike is from the Projection Booth podcast, and then we all know Sam, of course. And then on the second title, Witch from Nepal, Frank Jang also did a commentary for that one. There's a visual essay by Sam Deegan on here as well. There's a lot that could have made this release, I think, a little bit better, but it looks like a nice double feature. There's a Vinegar Syndrome had the chance to get some pieces from the Laserdisc that you can't get anywhere else that would have been on here, and they just simply chose not to do it. Could have been a nice release, and it's still going to be a great release. Just could have been a modicum better.
Well, Guess it depends on how you feel about the modicum. I do have the 88 Films version, but it sounds like this is going to be a fairly substantial upgrade plus the second film.
And on top of that, 88 Films, we're going to be talking about it, but they're also releasing Witch from Nepal soon on its own, just in case you have the old Seventh Curse and you don't want to upgrade.
Damn. And I now have a modicum of prevarication.
Well, at least you're getting this as part of the sub anyways.
Did I say that right? Prevarication. Nope. That's not what that means.
Well, you tried.
I used that word wrongly.
Some new merch went up at the same time. They are offering this Real Skull Rainbow holographic screen print. The same design in a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt.
Huh.
They also put the design on a skate deck that sold out within minutes, which is crazy. Virtual Insanity sticker.
None of us bought that.
The sticker they've been using to advertise the subscriber week. And then they also put out a hockey puck, an actual hockey puck.
For all the active Vincent fans out there.
For skate decks and hockey pucks.
Yeah, it's like before watching movies all day, I think I'll go out and break my knees.
Yes. No, thank you. Partner labels are next already. Okay, so Vinegar Syndrome stuff. First off, how do you feel about the opening slate? We're going to talk about like the year teases and all that soon, but how do you feel about January starting the year off?
Yeah, I mean, 3 really good titles in my view. I like Seventh Curse a lot. And as I indicated, I love Curse of the Devil and Deranged. So, and because I don't pay attention to any hints or anything, I had no idea any of them were going to be announced. So it was a very pleasant surprise. Virtuosity, I feel the same as Congo. I'm glad it's out there. Like Congo, it's got an actor in a small role that I really like. So, yeah. I never really pay much attention to the merch, but, I mean, people who are into that, great,
They them putting out 6 titles in January is a pretty interesting sign. It was three releases, 6 titles, triple feature, double feature, and a single film. That's nice for subscribers, obviously, to be able to get that much bang for your buck already. It looks decent. We'll talk more about the full year slate in just a little bit, but we got all these partner label things to discuss.
Yeah.
First is The Canyons from 2013. This is a Paul Schrader film written by Bret Easton Ellis, starring Lindsay Lohan, James Dean, Amanda Brooks, Gus Van Sant. This is one I've not been able to see, but I've been dying to see this.
This was shot in the crack in the world.
In the canyon.
Well, so this had a previous Blu-ray that's out of print.
Yes.
And, this was the movie that people made fun of. This was kind of like Paul Schrader's like totally lost it, but now there's like a Schrader-essence, and I think I'm just going to say tons of filmmakers' names and add essence at the end of it. But there really has been a reappraisal of Paul Schrader's work lately. And last year, what do we have? American Gigolo 4K. Yep. Touch, right?
Touch, yep.
Touch came out on Cinematograph. Something else came out too.
One of his classics on Shout got a 4K.
Right, which one? I forget. I know Cat People already had a 4K. Well, anyway, point is, a bunch of his stuff has been getting re-released, and he's got that new movie. What's it called? On Your Knees or something? What's it called?
It's definitely not called On Your Knees.
The new one with Richard Gere.
Yeah. Canada.
Oh, Canada. Why did I say On Your Knee?
I have no idea. Hardcore came out last year, too. That's right.
What?
Not on 4K, just Blu-ray from Kino. Oh, Blue Collar, I think, was the 4K that's been reappraised.
Blue Collar got a 4K? I just have the Twilight Time of hardcore.
Think so? I may be wrong.
What?
Okay, it was not 4K. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Get out of here. But anyway, I have not read a single good review of The Canyons, but I do plan on checking this out.
It's up in the air. Some people love it. Some people hate it. All right. That is from IFC. By the way, they were the ones that put out the original Blu-ray, and that went out of print. And so now it's just back in print.
Okay. With a slipcover.
With the slipcover and new extras, new video interview with Paul Schrader, new audio commentary, booklet with an essay by Mitchell Beaupre from Letterboxd, who's been on the show. There's a lot. Yeah, it's a fully released brand new version. Man, this is wild. Bleeding Skull is here with a 4K release of Disembodied from 1998. For some reason, the back of the slipcover did not make it onto my Instagram, so I can't share that. But this says, indebted to David Lynch's Eraserhead, Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space, and Frank Henenlotter's Brain Damage, Disembodied is a cinematic acid trip that blurs the line between horror and experimental art. The story follows Connie Sprouts, a gothed-out scientist who checks into the decrepit Grand Hotel to continue her experiments and turn people into slime before eating them. Shot in Reno by director William Kirsten on gritty 16mm film, this DIY passion project is filled with stop-motion effects, gory body horror, and surrealist visuals. This will have a 2-disc release, one 4K, one Blu-ray. We've got a commentary with the director William Kirsten, moderated by Lance from Unsung Horrors, friend of the show. We got an interview with Anastasia Wolverton and Hannah Neese, who are in the film. We've got the Japanese VHS introduction and trailer. You've also got the VHS version on this. There's also a 2016 director's cut and a booklet with behind-the-scenes photos and an essay by Annie Choi from Bleeding Skull.
Definitely want to see this, but I have a question. If it was shot on gritty 16mm film, which I assume is cheaper than regular non-gritty 16mm. Like personally, I will shell out for the non-gritty 16mm. But I'm not sure what the point of a 4K restoration means.
So I can share in that because one of the perks, if you sign up for the Disconnected Patreon, is getting into the Discord. And one of the members of the Discord is Justin LaLiberty from Vinegar Syndrome, who said that he helped produce this disc and helped talk them into 4K because the colors in this deserve the HDR. And it looked really great. And so they figured an upgrade to 4K would be well worth it for that fact alone.
Well, I think Justin's lifting too much money out of my wallet.
It was a pretty decent pun.
But I'm definitely into this.
Next is Dream Team coming from Yellow Veil Pictures. This is a 2024 film, and this is an absurdist homage to 90s basic cable TV thrillers. This sounds kind of interesting. Commentary. Go ahead.
I got to say, when I first saw the title, I was like, the Michael Keaton movie? But it's not.
Unfortunately, no.
But it sounds fun. Go ahead. Say what it is.
Commentary with the filmmakers are going to be on this. Interview with the visual effects artists. Interview with the composers. Interview with the executive producer. Theatrical trailer. Essay by Mark Ash. And that is that. Yeah. The tag for this one, but by the way, a postmodern softcore fever dream.
Well, fevers will do that to you.
They are speaking right to Will with that. Huckle is here from the catalog. This is coming on Blu-ray this month, and this is a 4K digital restoration using the original image negative and the original digital sound master carried out by the National Film Institute of Hungary. This will have interview with some of the filmmakers, co-writers, some short films, booklet with an essay by Josh Hurtado. The complete script is on this as well. And that is a hell of a slipcover when you realize those are two pigs doing it.
I'll be your Huckleberry. Of course, the script is in Hungarian, so
Yeah.
I want to have your Google Translate. And I assume it's an English translation of the script.
Yes, it is. And I've only seen great reviews of this movie. This is supposed to be incredible.
I'm not a religious man, but a lot of people are. And I got to say, the physical act of copulation, regardless of species, is very funny and awkward.
I was so waiting for you to say, I don't know, but this film looks kind of haram.
No, I'm just saying, like, if God is like omniscient and omnibenevolent and omnipotent, why do we do it like this? Why are those pigs doing that? Why do they have to go through that? I mean, look, I'm not knocking it. In fact, I am knocking it. I'm knocking any chance I get. I'm knocking it, but I'm just saying it's awkward at times. It seems like there could be a more, I don't know.
Anyway,
Miracle. My point is, the miracle of life is awkward.
Speaking of, wow, what a weird transition this is about to be. Speaking of the miracle of life, if you love physical media, don't forget to enter the giveaway for Deaf Crocodile. If you came in late on this, post either on Twitter or Blue Sky anything positive about any physical movie release. Use the hashtag positivity and tag both the Disconnected and Deaf Crocodile. And Craig is going to be picking a winner here in just about probably half an hour or so. So get tagging. Sib wants me to try pronouncing that director's name. I'm going to say Georgi Palfi. It's not Palfi. It's probably Palfi.
Parnick? What's wrong with Parnick?
Parnick?
Oh! I was looking at the DP. Speaking of pigs fucking, I was looking at the DP. Georgi Palfi.
Going to the next one. Influencer. This is coming on Blu-ray from Shudder this month, which Influencer was pretty divisive. This one is directed by Curtis David. What is up with all these innuendos? Curtis David Harder. Roddy was asking, was somebody's house just broken into? And no, that was Will's wife wanting ice in a cup.
No, it wasn't.
Will's daughter wanting ice in a cup.
It was my teenage child.
This is going to have an audio commentary with the director, and then the cinematographer David Sherman is on there as well. Audio commentary with the director and two of the actresses. Some deleted extended scenes. A book of new writing by Molly Henry. I've not seen Influencer. I doubt this is one you've seen.
No, but I'll definitely check it out now that I know it's on Shudder. I really appreciate being able to check all the Shudder titles out before buying.
And speaking of that, there's some of their titles that got some pretty great reviews, and I hope we get some of those. Like Mads is supposed to be amazing. I've not been able to watch yet. I would love to see a good partner label release of that. All right. That is Influencer. Next up is Jacker and Jacker 2 Descent to Hell. This is coming from Saturn's Core Audio and Video. They look great. These look so damn fun. Saturn's Core continues to knock some of these out of the park. Jacker's from 93, Jacker 2's from 96. And we're going to have new transfers of both features from the original analog master tapes. Commentary on both with the writer, producer, actor Phil Herman. Optional introductions by Joel D. Wincoop. Some other interviews as well. And yeah, looks like a standard, pretty damn great if you like SOV Saturn's Core release.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You sound excited. All right.
I was going to make a Louis C.K. joke, but I decided not to.
Smart man. Next up is one of our favorites, Canadian International Pictures, releasing Keanu and Company, which made a lot of people excited that this was Kenny and Company for about 5 seconds, and then they were very sad. So this is a super interesting release of early work that came out of Canada that looks really great, which I'm stoked that they got some of these. Some of these partner labels have been able to get bigger and bigger titles. So this one says, Keanu Reeves gave his first lead performance in 1985's One Step Away, establishing the charm and vulnerability of his beloved screen persona while exploring the pitfalls of juvenile delinquency. The film was directed by Robert Fortier, a seasoned documentarian venturing deeper into fiction filmmaking, following the success of his daredevil stunt driving doc, The Devil at Your Heels. This release collects 3 of the films he directed for the NFB's Family Crisis series, including what is Keanu's essential debut, vividly evoking the spirit of the after-school special and its 80s heyday. This is so rad.
Totally.
So this is the kind of thing that would never get a release. These are scanned and restored in 2K from the 16mm inner positives. We get a new commentary with Paul and Jason that are on a bunch of the Canadian international titles. We got some new interviews on this. We've got a bunch of new interviews, actually. There is some shorts that are on this, including another Family Crisis series short. There is so many that it's hard to cover everything. A booklet featuring a reproduction of the Family Crisis series viewer's guide, which that's so cool to collect that and put it out there for everybody.
You're breaking up again.
Am I fixed now? Are we good?
You are fixed now for the moment.
Well, that's good, because I do have more from Canadian International Pictures that I want to share. The big thing is they announced that they have a newsletter. You can go to Canadian-international.com. They posted that, I believe, just today or maybe even yesterday. They are going to be encouraging people to sign up so that they can tease some stuff coming up. And just for everybody watching the show, they wanted to give a couple quick teases for that. The big thing is their next release, which is coming in February, is going to be their second 4K UHD that they are releasing. So look forward to that. The other big thing is they're sending out a newsletter tomorrow. So make sure you go sign up for that tonight, and it will have a tease for their March release. So more and more info coming from Canadian International Picture as long as you sign up.
You won't be sorry.
Of course. I've loved everything that they have done that I've dove into. Tons of extras. Again, some of the more like better bang for your bucks type of discs when going through them. There's so much on their discs.
Check out The Hard Part Begins.
One of Will's favorites.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, The Last Circus.
You can do a double feature with Jacker.
Watch Jacker and Jacker 2 with The Hard Part Begins in the middle. The Last Circus is coming this month from Magnolia. This is a title that many people love. This is from 2010, directed by the one and only Alex de la Iglesia, who's gotten quite a bit of great releases over the last few years. We got a new commentary on this one by Sheila Rowan Legge, author of the Spanish Fantastic. We've got a new visual essay by Alexander Heller Nicholas, and some behind-the-scenes footage, visual effects footage, and this looks to be a great, solid release.
I don't know anything about this one, but I like the cover there.
Yeah, Alex de la Iglesia, great work. If you haven't seen this, I think you would probably like it. This is one that most people would enjoy.
I mean, I like his other stuff. So, Perdita Durango, right?
Perdita Durango, one of my favorites, yeah. All right. New Life is the next title from Brainstorm Media. This is from 2023. It says a mysterious woman on the run and the resourceful fixer assigned to bring her in. Their two unique stories inextricably link as the stakes of the pursuit rise to apocalyptic proportions. We have an audio commentary with the director and some of the actresses. And then there's another audio commentary with the director and the DP. Handful of interviews, some behind-the-scenes featurettes. This one... pretty intriguing slipcover. I've not heard much about this one. This one I need to look up more.
Based on that plot description, it sounds like there's mounting tension throughout.
Is she still working? Tension? Haven't heard from her in years. Next title is from Film Movement, and we are getting Once Were Warriors. They have released this previously. This is just sort of a repackage, I believe, with a slipcover and all that. This has a commentary with Alexander Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson, visual essay by Elizabeth Purcell, essay by Peter Calder in this. I somehow have not seen this one, but this one has pretty much only ever got incredible reviews. Have you seen this one?
No, but this will be a good excuse to pick it up. It's, well regarded and all.
Yeah. Adam is saying, where's the were? If you look, it is in once. It is there.
It reminds me, do you remember that old episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000? Werewolf, starring Joe Estevez.
Oh gosh, that's ages.
One of the actresses pronounces it werewolf. So, we're warriors. That was one of the best episodes. Werewolf.
Next title is from Film Movement as well. This is called The Sales Girl from 2022. And there is the back of that slip. I'm not going to leave that up there very long. We'll leave it on the girl in fishnets. That's better. This says, when college co-ed Sarul takes a temporary job as a clerk in an adult store, her poker-faced indifference makes her the perfect foil for the clientele, who range from slightly sheepish and cautiously curious to downright perverse. But it is Katya, the shop's flamboyant, eccentric female owner, who initiates Sarul's journey into adulthood, taking her under her wing, teaching her the art of living, and gently guiding her on the path to self-discovery. This will have a making of and a trailer on the disc.
Well, talk about the hard part beginning. No, I watched the trailer for this, and it looked really good. And honestly, I make it a point to try to watch films from like every country. I don't think I've ever seen a film from Mongolia.
Ooh, so that is a good point.
Maybe I have and just not known it, but certainly not contemporary. So
yeah,
I'm curious just for that reason, just to see the locations where it's shot and how it looks. And yeah, this is clumsy monolingual doofus just trying to watch stuff from a lot of different places.
Yeah, and I did have somebody that has seen this recommended, so this one was an easy checkout for me.
Well, one thing that unites all cultures is smut. Like we've all got.
When you said smut,
what?
Definitely a huge whistle when you said smut there.
Yeah.
Next up is AGFA releasing Satan War from 1979, which, if that doesn't excite you immediately, it absolutely should. This says it is a DIY answer to the Amityville horror from Texas actor Bart LaRue. Satan War is an unforgettable satanic panic artifact. When newlyweds Louise and Bill Foster move into a new house, they are confronted by a supernatural entity. And things only get worse from there. Never legitimately released until now, Satan War floats across the screen in a black cloud of pummeling synthesizers, hallucinogenic visuals, and unsettling themes. This is region-free, preserved from the 16mm answer print. There are 3 versions of the movie. The original 64-minute cut, the 77 and 92-minute cuts are
What?
well. We got a commentary with Kristen LaRue and AGFA's Joe Ziemba on this, and then an interview with Stephen Thrower.
So if you get this, you'll get the same number of cuts as if you buy Apocalypse Now. Both of which are essentially Satan Wars. Satan and the Great Satan. I'm pretty excited about this. You know, to quote a great Texan, Gibby Haynes, it's better to regret something you have done than to regret something you haven't done. And oh, by the way, if you see your mother, tell her, Satan, Satan, Satan. I feel like that was an endorsement of this movie.
And if not, it absolutely should have been.
Although sometimes I do think it is worse to regret something you have done than haven't. You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not sure I 100% agree with Gibby.
All right.
My point is, I'm going to definitely check this out, though.
Let's go to our next one. Will, have you seen Smiley Face?
I have.
How do you feel about Smiley Face? Because this is damn divisive.
I was stone cold sober when I watched it. I was at a period in my life where I had nary a substance in my system and definitely did not laugh one time. But I feel like if I had like half an edible or something, it'd be great.
Well, this month, Dark Star is releasing the Iraqi film Smiley Face, so everybody has a chance to pick this up. This has a hell of a cast. Anna Faris, John Krasinski, Adam Brody, Ben Falcone, Brian Posehn. We have an audio commentary by Elizabeth Purcell on this, a booklet with the essay by Mia Lee Vicino. This is a good movie. I like this one. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I thought it was Anna Faris. You know, so tell me about the divisiveness. Are people hating on it?
Yeah, it's so many people hate the comedy in this that it's just tale as old as time. People have been shitting on this movie since it got released.
Tale as old as time, huh?
Yeah, time's pretty old. It's at least 17 years.
Is that from Beauty and the Beast?
I think so.
You know, I recently rewatched, not super recently, or I would have mentioned it on one of the shows, but I recently rewatched The House Bunny.
Oh, yeah. Another, what'd you say, Anna Faris?
And I got to tell you, I'm Team Faris all the way. She's so funny in that movie.
She's pretty great.
Oh my! And I do to this day, I do the mnemonic trick she does to remember people's names in like my classes, but I don't explain. I just weird everybody out. First day roster, you know.
I swear we did talk about this recently.
Maybe.
I
might have brought up the mnemonic thing.
Maybe you're on half an edible then. I don't know.
I don't do this. I've never done those before, but I ordered for Christmas. I got a Groupon to get some THC gummies, and I thought they might help me sleep. They're not here yet, but I'm gonna try them and see what happens. I've never been, you know. I've tried back when I was a young man. I tried smoking the wacky tobacco, and I'm one of those people that just gets like real paranoid and stuff, and it didn't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah.
So, but now it's very popular for middle-aged people to eat. They're gummies, but they're called edibles. I guess because there's all kinds of different sorts of edibles you can get.
Yep.
I just got the gummies. So I'll let you know if it works.
That was a journey.
I'd like to see Smiley Face again.
I do want to say I want to award some of these labels when I can, potentially, and just giving some feedback. Darkstar suddenly getting major titles like Fear.com, and I know that's not like this heralded film, but it's one that people have wanted for some time. But
Really?
Smiley Face from Iraqi, like these are titles that have been on people's wish list for a while, and for a partner label to put those out in relative close time frames when they were putting out like mostly modern indie comedies and horror, this is pretty damn great that they're able to get these at all.
Oh wow! I just looked at the comments, and apparently I ordered the wrong kind of gummies.
Yep.
Well, I got THC and CBD. There's two different. They come in, so I'll compare them. What's indica? I don't know what that is.
That's never mind. All I know, I've never done a single thing in my life. I shouldn't say anything.
I have a terrible time sleeping, man. I just I need something.
I believe the sativa is the one to put you to sleep, and indica is like the one to make you just feel floaty and high.
Well, okay, that's the Miley Cyrus does the sativa.
I'm not sure. Anything.
I didn't see that as a shit. I didn't see that as a. There's all these terms that everybody knows. Well, I don't need it. I just need to sleep. Doctor says I'm going to have a stroke.
Please don't do that.
What am I mispronouncing? Is it indica? Or indica?
Oh, did I say it the wrong way? I meant that.
The chat's saying I can't pronounce anything. I put the wrong emphasis.
It's indica, not indica.
I put the emphasis on the wrong syllables.
Look at this. Sasha helping you with your anaphorus mnemonic. Indica is the one to put you to sleep in the couch.
In the couch. Wow.
Oops. I said it the wrong way. I meant to say it the right way, I promise. But let's keep going. Art Label putting out The Special People from 2021. This one is mostly recorded in a single room in Brooklyn, preceding Robert Zemeckis' here, by the way. The Special People is the culmination of 15 years of creating video art that ranges from delightfully playful to daringly vulnerable. This is by director Erica Schreiner. You got a feature-length commentary by Erica Schreiner, moderated by Art Label themselves, interview with a couple of the co-stars, director Q&A, 3 music videos on this, 2 trailers, and then 2 Sky Project films with introductions by Erica Schreiner as well. I've not got anything from Art Label yet, I don't think.
Question. In your interview with Joe Rubin, he admitted that he wrote the copy for the newsletters, the descriptions of the movies and stuff. Does he do the OCNs as well?
I don't think he does OCNs as well, no. Okay. I think that's up to every single label.
The adjectives. We've talked about the adjectives before, but man, there's some adventurous stuff going on with the adjectives. And don't get me started on the adverbs.
That will quickly devolve. All right, next one is from Enjoy the Ride. This is Video Man from 2018. One of the more interesting sounding titles from them. This says, Ennio, a giallo-obsessed VHS collector with a drinking problem, so a lot of us, finds a highly collectible videotape that could solve his money problems and save him from eviction. He makes a deal with a shady, anonymous collector before realizing the video has been stolen. This is going to include Alan Jones' interview with the writer-director Christian A. Soderstrom at Fright Fest 2018, some 2024 interviews with the actors and actresses, plus the writer-director, the origin story featurette, music video, 2 shorts, and if that's all on the disc, that's quite a bit for an ETR release.
You got 2 short for this? What did you say? 2
shorts.
Oh, that's different.
Quite a bit different, actually.
So, wait. Well, I guess this is like cover. The subject matter is cover in case the video presentation is off.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Don't tell. No, that looks neat.
It says Alan Jones of Fright Fest calls it Dario Argento meets Mike Lee, which is weird, to say the least.
I don't know if that sounds good, but I'm going to assume he meant for it too. So,
yeah, I haven't decided on this one. Anyways. Next up, this is Connie's release for the month. It is Wonderful Paradise from 2020. There is the front and back of the slip. This says, in this demented spin on the unwanted guest scenario from iconoclast Masahi Yamamoto, the debt-ridden Sasayas must move out of their suburban Tokyo house. In the midst of packing, the family's rebellious daughter posts an open invitation online. Let's have a party. Soon, guest after guest pours in, from estranged relatives to jilted lovers, from drug dealers and Yakuza to supernatural delights of the kaiju variety. This is going to have an interview with the director, the original trailer, a booklet with some behind-the-scenes photographs, and new writing by Ariel Esteban Calle from the label Connie themselves. Yeah, Connie does pretty great work. I'm interested in this one.
Definitely true about the movies, but I got to agree with Reservoir Fella 88. The slipcover doesn't appeal to me.
No, it's not great. There's been quite a few this month that I've not loved. Not loved at all. Craig says they're looking into a film that would be described as Douglas Sirk meets John Waters. Interesting. Silent Mandible likes a slip. Nice. So that is Connie for this month. And of course...
Is it called Odiferous Obsession?
If that's not enough, head over to the Melusine side, where you get a 4K release of The Image from 1973. This is the same film that was released previously on Blue from Synapse, coming on 4K in one of these deluxe Melusine packages. Here is the inner slip art. If you've never bought one of the Melusine releases, I just so happen to have this because I just talked about it somewhere else. Through the Looking Glass. Oh, look at that. There's the image, and you can imagine seeing it on here. These releases are crazy great. They put a lot of love and attention into them. What's odd this month, though, is there's a couple of these releases that seem to be missing some information. So, like this one, they refer to a commentary on the back of the case, but it's not listed as one of the extras. Yes, this is Radley Metzger, Adam. This is one that I would certainly suggest people look at. You've got the Blu-ray there. I'm assuming you've seen it.
Yeah, 0 extras though. And
is there nothing on there?
No, 0. It's so old that when you open it up, it lets you know that Synapse has moved to a new location. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this is an upgrade in pretty much every respect, and this is one of the most well-regarded adult films ever made, right?
Yeah, these Melusine editions are great, and yes, Stefano, it is hardcore. Hope you check it out. It is pretty good.
Wasn't that a pulp album? It was a pulp album. But it was a statement, not a question.
Next one is Neon Nights. This is Neon Crotch that Will was talking about
This
earlier.
is the one you watch with your mom.
So this is from the Command Cinema line. You can pick up now 1981's Neon Nights, the Cecil Howard or Cecil Howard, I'm not sure how he pronounces it on this one. This is going to have feature-length audio commentary with the director, moderated by Casey Scott, a bunch of video interviews, film outtakes with the director. You can pick this up now. Now, have you gotten any of the Command Cinema ones since they joined Vinegar Syndrome?
You know what the weirdest part of watching pornography with your parents?
Discussing it online publicly?
Is, well, that's the moment where you realize they've got like 30 years of perversion on you. You know? Like you hadn't even thought of some of the stuff they've tried yet. What did you ask me?
Have you bought any of the Command Cinema lines? Because all of these, all but like one or two that they've released through Melusine have come out previously when they were their own company. And my question is, because they never used the word new, so are these just the same discs as before in a new slipcover? That wouldn't surprise me necessarily.
I haven't gotten any of their stuff yet.
All right.
So I'm not,
KB says Will is describing my relationship with my kids.
No, I haven't.
Jim says, gotta love how the variant image is apparently taken seconds apart. Her head is turned to a different side, and that is it.
Well, that you can see.
Craig says, just curious, do Melusine releases get coverage because they're nicely packaged? Lots of porn comes out every month. No.
Nicely packaged.
Not a lot of it does, actually, especially in restoration of classic hardcore, actually. Wave says, is the VS Pink line going to be Pinku Films? We don't know yet. We've not heard a single hint other than there's a new line coming to Melusine called Pink. We will have to see. Going to the last Melusine title, the Ribald Tales of Canterbury and Tasty double feature. This is Ribald Tales of Canterbury came out as part of the 5 years, 5 films collection. I think that was on volume 1 even.
Yeah.
And so this is just a repackage of that Blu-ray with Tasty as another double feature.
So you have to decide. I think if you're a fan of Hypatia Lee, and there's good reason to be. She's a multi-hyphenate. I have her album. She was in a band. It was like a blues rock band.
I read somewhere that she was tempting and tantalizing.
Well, the tension mounts. But she wrote a pretty well reviewed memoir, and she's a screenwriter. She wrote several movies. She co-wrote Ribald Tales of Canterbury, which is hilarious because in the credits, the writers include Hypatia Lee and Chaucer.
Great people to be around there for sure.
Yeah. Of course, the regular tales of Canterbury Tales are pretty ribald.
Well, for back then, probably not as bald, but
no, it was like super ribald.
That was that was a bald joke, not a ribald.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, commentary with the director Bud Lee, video interview with Bud Lee as well, and then original theatrical trailers accompany this release.
Bud Lee kind of sucks.
All right.
He was married to Hypatia Lee, and you look at the two of them, and you're just like, how the hell did that happen?
Money.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, they say.
Let's carry on. Vinegar Syndrome announced some of the stuff coming throughout the rest of this year so that you can decide if you want to subscribe or not. On top of all of the discounts that you get for the partner labels and all of the sub-labels and all that other stuff, plus Melusine titles, these are the things that they're going to use to entice you. So February, we got 3 releases, including a 4K of The Possession of Joel Delaney, Blu-ray debut of an 80s slasher, Blu-ray debut of an 80s Jess Franco horror. Any thoughts on what that one might be, Will?
Nope. I don't want to jinx anything. I will never speculate about Franco. I just am grateful for whatever happens.
All right.
I was in this is all right. Speaking of just Franco, so you see, I'm wearing this Severin T-shirt here.
Yep.
And I was in a meeting earlier today for like actual work. job, and I was meeting with an instructional designer for this online course that I'm working on. And she's like, "Oh, what's Severin?" And then she Googled it, and the first thing she saw was Thong Girls. And I was like, "No, actually, it's
high class art.
It's politically transgressive because of the fascist Francisco Franco regime." And she was like, "Yeah." So I don't know.
March from VS is going to include a Blu-ray debut of Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance, double feature that I cannot wait for, a Forgotten Jolly box set, and a 4K and Blu-ray debut of an 80s British thriller.
Fuck, I don't have room for any more Forgotten Jolly box sets.
You got another one coming. April is...
Oh, shit. We got 7 so far? This is going to be the 8th one?
Yeah, I think so.
Holy shit.
April, 3 releases, including a 4K debut of a Giallo, 4K debut of early supernatural slasher, and a Blu-ray debut double feature of 60s British horror. May, of course, this is the halfway sale month, so we get 4 releases, a 4K debut of 70s horror masterpiece, 4K debut of 90s horror classic, plus 2 secret surprise 4K titles. Then skipping June, because that will be partners only. July, 3 Vinegar Syndrome releases, including 3 4K debuts of horror and sci-fi films. August will have 3 releases, including a 4K debut of Troma's Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, which is crazy that that's getting a 4K release. 3 films set. Go ahead.
I'll say again, that's the first in-house Troma film they've done.
Yep.
Wow.
Sure is. That could be a sign of some other things to come. We've got a 3-film set of 70s Italian horror rarities and a double feature of 2 genre-melding films by an indie director legend. One of them a 4K Blu-ray and one of them Blu-ray only. September, 3 Vinegar Syndrome releases total, a 4K double feature of major indie horror films, Blu-ray debut of a batshit crazy Italian horror, and a 4K debut of 90s supernatural horror. The giggle?
Well, I was hoping for The House with Laughing Windows finally, but I don't think it's batshit. So,
well, and I kind of don't think it's VS. I'm very curious who has it. We've been waiting a long time since that reveal to find out who's got it.
Well, pretty cool. I mean,
October. We got a couple more. October, 4 Vinegar Syndrome releases, a 4K debut, a new restoration of 70s horror classic, 4K debut of a masterful 90s horror-infused genre bender, 4K debut of a Giallo, and a disc debut of gory 80s supernatural horror. And then finally, November, 4 total releases, a shocking 4K debut, horror box set, and 2 surprise titles.
Yeah. Yeah. I never speculate. Speculation is a dangerous thing.
It's very dangerous. People start believing rumors. But this is not a rumor. There are 2 titles that you can pick up just in the Vinegar Syndrome Media Club sections of both of the Vinegar Syndrome and Melusine sites. So on the VS side, there is a standard release of the Demon Rat, which was a VSA that is now out of print. So you can get just the standard that is available now. It is 3,000 VSMC points. And then if you go over to the Melusine site, the title Hot Summer in the City is available to redeem for 3,000 VSMC points. And this one is not available to purchase anywhere else. The only place that you can get it is through there. And their email today made it sound like that's the only place this will be available. So you may want to save up some points and pick that up for 3,000 points over there.
So that's $30 worth of points.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is already only, like a 1% discount on VSMC points for the most part at the lowest level?
So I'm trying to decide about the Devil Rat because I like some of that director's other films, Grave Robbers, Cemetery of Terror, and the trailer makes it look like,
just like that.
But then I read the Letterboxd reviews and everybody's like, this fucking's not even And so now I don't know. And then you told me that Hot Summer in the City was great, and
I did not tell you that. I said Quentin Tarantino said it was the best porn movie ever made.
So then I look it up, and it's all about like racial raping. Like that's all it is. It's a bunch of racist raping stuff.
Yikes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't decide what to do with my points.
Well, thankfully, that is it for VS until the next day. We got one more release to cover once we get to their cinematograph. Next up is, like I said, 88 Films is doing Witch from Nepal. This is the art for their release. It is coming in early 2025. It will have newly color graded and restored in the UK by 88 Films from the studio supplied master. It will also have a bunch of extras, including a new commentary by Frank Jang. There was something else that they announced. Oh, maybe it was not in that post, and I read it in the comments, so never mind. Heads up, by the way, I had some people ask Frank Jang. I think it was the 7th Curse release. It says brand new commentary, but he did the commentary for 88 Films. What's crazy is Frank Jang never allows the same commentary to go to 2 different labels, even if it's for the same title. So if they want him on the VS release, and he already did it for 88 Films, he records another full commentary. So that's pretty damn cool. It gives you a reason. If you really love the title, you might want to keep both of them because they are going to be different.
I want to talk a little bit more about Hot Summer in the City. Because I said what it was about, but I didn't say it was written by Gail Palmer, which I guess complicates things. She also made Erotic Adventures of Candy and Candy Goes to Hollywood.
Oh.
Which has Wendy O. Williams in it. I gotta tell you, man, Frank Jang is an impressive motherfucker. Recording brand new commentaries for stuff that he's already done commentaries for.
That's difficult.
And I'd be just like, pay me twice for, whatever. But more power to him. He's one of the top, I love him. And he has the sweetest Instagram. I love every one of his posts. Like, everything he does is so fun and cool. I'm like, way to go, dude. I hope to beat him one day.
Yep. He's pretty rad. All right. It is that time. It's the giveaway time. So this is crazy because Craig, he lessened the pool from all of the entries and got it down to I think it was 20, and gave me a number to pull, and my number that I chose was a random draw. And he texted me. It is, I don't know how this came up, but a regular that is going to be very happy with this won the package tonight. Ronnie, you won. You won the Deaf Crocodile package. You get Fella Day and Son of the Stars and Delta Space Mission. If you will, yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Congratulations,
that's the most
Ronnie.
impressive package of the night. Oh, and speaking of impressive packages, where do you see Philadelphia?
Yeah, it is an amazing movie. Ronnie, please send your address to craig@deafcrocodile.com via email, and he will get that shipped out to you immediately.
Congratulations, Ronnie. Hey, I got to tell you, I don't venture on the Twitter that much anymore, but whenever I do, Ronnie's feed always has stuff that only people with good taste have. So, huzzah!
I'm so glad it was you, Ronnie. That's incredible.
I tell you, I'm just glad it wasn't Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a good call. Enjoy what you get from Deaf Crocodile there, Ronnie. These are pretty fantastic releases. All right, we got just a couple more to cover. Shelf Shock, we're going to be talking about that in just a minute, so I'm going to keep this one at bay. The last thing to cover is today, Cinematograph announced Bang the Drum Slowly from 1973 coming on 4K, and this is one of their media book releases that they do for all of the Cinematograph titles. This is starring Robert De Niro and Michael Moriarty. We got a new commentary with John Hancock, the director, moderated by Justin from Cinematograph. New commentary by Jim Hemphill on this as well. New video interview with the director. New visual essay by Chris O'Neill. New text essays by Noah Gittell, author of Baseball the Movie. Film critic Glenn Kenny, author of Anatomy of an Actor, Robert De Niro. And then writer and filmmaker Dan Mecca from The Film Stage. This, have you seen this movie, Will?
No. I rarely watch baseball movies because I don't like baseball. But I've read. I mean, this is like fairly well regarded as a classic, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people when I think they read between the lines that it was a baseball movie and they thought it was going to be 8 Men Out, and so some people were disappointed. But
speaking of John Sayles, I would have liked that. But no, this is a movie that has needed a release. It's got a great critical reputation. Given all of the jokes that we've made about packages and mounting and banging, a film by John Hancock called Bang the Drum Slowly seems like the perfect way to close things out. Two guys balling.
Oh, I don't even know what to say. All right. So that is announcements for the week. Like I said, we'll get back to Shelf Shock in just a minute. But of course.
For real? That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Don't Vinegar Syndrome and nobody else?
Don't you feel good about Well, tons of Kino. Like always. Well,
what'd they release?
I mean, nothing. They just announced that some stuff will come someday. Coming out next week, as we usually cover, David Fincher's 7 on 4K, Steelbook and Standard. Yojimbo Sanjuro 4K from Criterion. We Live in Time from A24. Saturday Night from Sony. Rumpelstiltskin will be shipping from TerraVision the moment their 4K discs arrive. They're waiting on that. Sanctum 4K from Scream Factory. Drag Me to Hell 4K Steel from Scream. Rampo Noir from Arrow Video. The Lord of the Rings stuff might be getting re-released, it looks like. Let's Get Lost from Kino. Ultra Galaxy Fight Series from Mill Creek. Triumph of Sherlock Holmes and Silver Blaze from Film Masters. Motel Hell Steelbook coming as well. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat from Kino. I need to pick this one up. I've heard this one is incredible. Yeah, you get anything from next week? Are you going to pick up 7? Have we ever talked about 7? Are you a 7 fan? That's what I thought. You look upset.
Well, my favorite part is when they kill Gwyneth Paltrow.
Good
with a sliding door, actually, which is. I like
pretty good.
I like the synergy.
That was pretty good. All right, we will be covering Shelf Shock first. Yes, let's cover Shelf Shock Rewind first. This is I'm sharing from the editing side of where I could change the survey, but I'm not going to click anything. I'm going to show everybody what all of the categories are tonight and just have a quick run through on a couple of these. Will, you can give any thoughts by all means, please. Here it is. So this is what you can vote for if you vote in the community vote for the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards. These are open for the entirety of the month of January. If you want to vote, the link is in the description below. Wherever you're watching this, you should be able to find the link. It is an incredibly difficult year. The first one here is Best Pre-Code or Silent Film Release. We got Dante's Inferno from TerraVision, Haxon from Radiance Films, Laurel and Hardy Year 2 from Flicker Alley, the Louis Foyad set from Eureka, and then Pandora's Box from Criterion.
Dang.
This is one of those categories I don't know how to pick one.
Well, I mean, who's gotten the Foyad box set yet? But also, like, Wow, that's everything, right? That's Phantomas, that's the vampires. I mean,
It's all the crime serials.
then again, who's going to ever watch them all?
A lot of people have, surprisingly.
Whatever. That Pandora's Box. Oh, but the Dante's Inferno with like how many different
4 different
versions?
scores.
Yeah, the different scores.
I'm glad people remembered that when they were nominating these.
I remember pitching to do a commentary for it and being denied. So, whatever.
So not the case, but okay.
It was the case.
Second category here, best contemporary studio release. So this is anything for a new film that just came out this year. We've got the Civil War 4K Amazon exclusive from A24 Lionsgate, the Fall Guy 4K from Universal, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga 4K from Warner Brothers. I Saw the TV Glow from A24, and Love Lies Bleeding 4K from A24.
What?
Have you even seen any of those 5 films?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Honestly, five pretty great discs there too.
I'm gonna watch. I Saw the TV Glow, and I told you I got Furiosa last month. I just haven't watched it. But the other ones, no. What is even that?
Humboldt Horror Honey wants to know, I viewed the nominees for all. Who picks these again? And that's a great question. We have what I've deemed the Creators Selection Committee. That is full of a bunch of filmmakers and YouTubers, podcasters, creators in a bunch of different arenas that come together to nominate titles and then literally just pick the highest number of votes in every category and try to discern the best way to present those. And this is what we got.
Full disclosure, I was disenfranchised this year. I did not get to vote.
That's true. That is true. Next is Best Studio Catalog Release. So this is for a studio putting out a release for a film that came out before 2020. And we've got Nightmare on Elm Street 4K, Bringing Out the Dead 4K. We've got Chinatown 4K, North by Northwest 4K, and then from Warner Archive, The Searchers 4K.
Now, see, that's tough because you can only vote for Chinatown ethically if you ordered the special edition, because the standard edition, which I pre-ordered, is still on pre-order. Yeah. Yep. So basically, that's bullshit.
Because you couldn't get it?
No, it doesn't specify that it's the special edition.
It's the only one that was released.
Well, that's my point. Anyway.
I mean, they sold 6,000 of them.
Wow, it's only 2 studios. Yeah.
Lots of Warner.
Interesting.
Best Animation. We got some big ones here. The Boy and the Heron 4K Steelbook from Shout. Feliday 4K from Deaf Crocodile. Tamla 2010, A Punk Cat in Space from Deaf Crocodile. Transformers 1 4K Steelbook from Paramount. And then the Wild Robot 4K from Universal.
That's tough. I've seen 3 of these.
What's the third one? Transformers 1?
Boy and the Heron.
Oh, see, you should see Wild Robot. I think you'd like that one.
Well, I took my daughter to see Boy and the Heron. Is Transformers 1 the one where they're teenagers?
Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty great.
Fuck.
Yeah.
They're robots, dude.
That's just their personality.
Oh, my God. That is so dumb.
Fifth category is martial arts. We got the Game of Clones Bruceploitation set from Severin.
Whoa.
Golden Harvest Volume 1 from Shout Studios. The Heroic Trio and Executioners 4K from Criterion. Ninja Terminator from Neon Eagle Video. And then Shawscope Volume 3 from Arrow. This is a difficult category.
I kind of feel like some of these you need to have 2 winners. It's got to be like 1A and 1B.
Well, I mean, we do, for those that don't know, we do pick a winner from the Creator Selection Committee and the community. So there is an option for a couple winners.
Right. I forgot you had the Electoral College.
We do, yeah.
Situation.
So that is a very difficult category. Here's another one. Best Horror Release. All the Haunts Be Ours, a compendium of folk horror volume 2 from Severin, the Blair Witch Project from Second Sight, the Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, Hush 4K from Scream Factory, and Opera 4K from Severin.
Wow. You know what? It has been such an incredible year. I forgot that Opera came out this year. I was actually thinking that had to be last year. And then I was like, oh, wait, we were just at Severin when that happened. So I assume this is the replacement disc that's been nominated.
Yep.
Wow.
Humboldt Horror Honey says, I think I have to pick other for a lot of these. And that is exciting because I do want to make sure that people understand that you can write in. If you don't like any of the five nominees, you can write in. And one of the write-in picks absolutely could win. So please, if you got a different choice, write that in. Jim, no Canadian Animation Volume 1 from CIP. It got nominated. It just missed it, I think, by 1 or 2 nominees.
Which is interesting because I just mentioned that I was disenfranchised.
Number 7 is Best Documentary Release. We got the American Movie 4K from Sony, The Battle of Chile from Icarus Films, Enter the Clones of Bruce from Severin, Papatopoulos from TerraVision, and Scala from Severin.
That's impossible. And you know what makes it even worse is that one of those films is like super important historically, and the rest are just for geeks like us.
Yep.
And it's not going to win. I'm just going to go ahead and say the one movie that is absolutely going to outlive all of them because it is so important historically will not win.
This is true.
But I'm glad it's nominated at least. I'm glad at least we can show a modicum of awareness of the historical and artistic importance of one of these films. That said, I'm voting for Papatopoulos.
Ronnie says Gay USA from Altered Innocence for me. I want to point out this missed being nominated by 1 vote.
And again, someone was disenfranchised. That 100% would have been on my ballot, by the way.
Next is the Best Audio Presentation. We get Alien Romulus 4K from 20th Century. We get the Civil War 4K from A24 Lionsgate. Dune Part 2 4K from Warner Brothers. Godzilla -1 4K from Toho. And Opera 4K from Severin. This is an interesting category.
I don't even know how to tell. I have a Bose sound bar. And it's loud, but I don't have like surround sound or anything.
This is really important for some people, and they can tell, I promise.
You just listen on your earbuds.
Sometimes. Honestly, it's better than TV speakers.
Yeah. No.
It's more surround than a soundbar. Number 9 category.
It's like this long.
Number 9 is for video presentation. We get the Case of the Bloody Iris 4K from Celluloid Dreams, Opera 4K from Severin, the Hitcher 4K Second Sight, the Keep 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and the Silence of the Lambs 4K from Arrow.
Oh, a dark horse. A dark lamb.
Dark Lamb. This one, I think, is another one that's going to be tough because Case of the Bloody Iris is probably the best looking Giallo on disc ever now. And then Silence of the Lambs improved pretty greatly on the Kino 4K.
Well, Opera looked pretty good too.
It looks amazing, yeah. Speaking of that, best home video restoration upgrade. So the last time it was on home video to what it got this last year showed the biggest improvement. So we've got Bringing Out the Dead 4K from Paramount, Case of the Bloody Iris 4K Celluloid Dreams, Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, The Jar from TerraVision, and then the Keep 4K from Vinegar Syndrome.
So, like, technically, based on how this is written, it has to be The Jar. Right? Like, the best improvement over what it had been previously.
I mean, quite literally, like, that's the one that I'm voting for. I'll be completely transparent there.
You can't. No. You can't do that.
Oh, yes, I can. I didn't help with that disc.
Yeah, but you're influential.
All right. Going to our next one.
They're all tough. They're all tough.
They really are. Best packaging design. All the Haunts BRs, Volume 2, the Hitcher 4K second sight, the Never Ending Story from Imprint. That thing weighs 5 pounds.
That's bold.
The Tenet 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and then the one I just held up, Through the Looking Glass 4K from Melusine. We had an adult film nominated for Best Packaging.
Bold inclusion of the Never Ending Story, which, from what I've heard, has been the bane of every distributor, every store. And I have to say, as excited as I was when it came out, I cannot purchase that.
I wouldn't mind having it, but that's so expensive.
Yeah, like if like somebody gave it to me, I would take it. But then I would also be like, you just wasted your money. You should have like given that to someone who was like down and out and trying to get back on their feet, you know?
Next category is Best Steelbook. We got Body Double 4K from Sony, The Crow 4K from Paramount, Nightmare on Elm Street 4K from Warner, Saw 10 4K from Lionsgate, and then the Thanksgiving 4K Steelbook from Sony.
You know what would have been better, though, is if that Neverending Story had the book, like if the book had the book in it. Why didn't, I mean, you know?
People have asked the same thing, yeah.
I'm sure they have, but it just occurred to me now. Well, on to the steelbooks. All right. Stuff that you bang around.
Stuff that you bang around. All right, number 13. Best artwork. We got All the Haunts BRs, Volume 2 from Severin, Demon Pond 4K from Criterion, Corel from Criterion, The Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, and A Simple Plan 4K from Arrow.
Where's Demon Rat?
Honestly, this list is maybe the most odd out of the entire list of nominees for me. There's maybe one in here that I would have included, but like the Radiance and Deaf Crocodile art is so eye-catching. I don't see how any of those didn't make the top 5.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
Especially, I'll be quiet, but especially when one of these was so controversial when it was announced. Category 14, Best New Interview. We got an interview on the Hitcher 4K with C. Thomas Howell. Greg Araki and Richard Linklater have a conversation on the Teen Apocalypse trilogy release. Harmony Korine is interviewed on the Gummo 4K. Nicolas Cage interviewed on Bringing Out the Dead. And then Paul Schrader for Touch from Cinematograph.
I haven't seen any of these, but I think the first one I'm going to watch is... Oh, wait, I don't have Bringing Out the Dead. When I get it, I definitely want to see that. Okay.
And there was, I think, the Bringing Out the Dead is one of the.
Sorry.
It was one of the Justin Beam behind the scenes stories that he shared of going down into that room with Nicolas Cage, and he was just like chill and hanging out and being just regular Nicolas Cage.
This is very phallocentric list of nominees, but okay.
I would agree.
Well, I guess that's true of film in general.
New visual essay. We got Lindsay Hallam on Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe with their essay Coffin Joe's Sadian Underworld. Desperate Times Call for Desperate Measures by Chris O'Neill on Red Rock West from Cinematograph. Don't Let the Title Fool You, Little Darlings Beyond the Teen Sex Comedy by Sam Deegan on Little Darlings from Cinematograph. The Kids Aren't All Right by Erica Schultz on Run and Kill for Air 4444. And then Tom York Spells The Music of Suspiria by Philip Jeffries on Suspiria 4K from Imprint. Oh. This is a tough category.
Yeah. I don't know.
Number 16, Best Newly Written Essay. Mary Beth McAndrews on The Blair Witch Project. Erica Schultz on Corpse Mania 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. We've got Heather Drain on The Hitcher 4K from Second Sight. Sam Deegan again on Trick or Treat from Red Shirt Pictures. And then Josh Hurtado on Green Room from Second Sight.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention when we were doing pickups. Trick or Treat.
Nice.
Pretty cool. I haven't read that essay yet, so I'll do that.
Number 17 is Best New Commentary. We've got Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel and some of the other cast on Hush 4K, Alexander Heller-Nicholas on The Hitcher 4K, Alexander Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson on The Blair Witch Project, Chris O'Neill and Erica Schultz on Deep in the Heart from Fun City, and then Kevin Smith doing the commentary on the 4:30 movie.
Huh. This seems like something missing, but...
For the record, we were not allowed to win any of these. Number 18, Best Single or Double Feature. We've got The Blair Witch Project from Second Sight, The Conan Chronicles from Arrow Video, The Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, Hollywood 90028 from Grindhouse Releasing, and then Looking for Mr. Goodbar 4K from Vinegar Syndrome.
I have to say I'm seeing these for the first time, so wow, yeah.
Some shocking inclusions?
No, just tough. Just tough.
I really enjoyed that Hollywood 90028 made the list here on this one. That's a release that people are sleeping on this year for sure.
Do you know what's funny? I have every single Grindhouse video releasing except for that. I don't have that yet.
That's pretty new, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at number 19, Best Region B release. Here's where it gets nigh impossible to select on some of these. Bellatar, a Curzon collection from Curzon, The Blair Witch Project from Second Sight, Columbia Noir number 6, The Whistler from Indicator, Green Room 4K from Second Sight, The Hitcher 4K from Second Sight, The Foyad set from Eureka again, Nothing is Sacred, 3 Heresies by Louis Buñuel from Radiance, and then The Third Man 4K from Studio Canal. How do you choose one of these?
Don't know the answer to that.
Well, if Region B isn't difficult enough, Region A, All the Haunts Be Ours, Volume 2, Frank Capra at Columbia 4K from Sony, Hollywood 90028 from Grindhouse, The Keep 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, Looking for Mr. Goodbar 4K Vinegar Syndrome, Opera 4K Severin, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid 4K from Criterion, and then the Tenet 4K from VS.
Ryan Gals said they went hard for Nail Gun Massacre, but didn't get it over the top. Well, thanks for trying.
Nail Gun actually almost made it on Video Restoration Upgrade, and then there was one more. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad that it didn't get on here, because if we had lost to the Hysteria Continues for like best commentary, I would fucking kill myself.
I understand.
Oh, this is quite a slate.
Speaking of slates, we got some more. Best box set.
Please.
All the Haunts Be Ours, Volume 2, Frank Capra at Columbia, the Dai Gothic Japanese Ghost Stories from Radiance, Game of Clones from Severin, and then the Houses of Doom from Cauldron got a nom.
Wow. I don't know what I'm going to say there.
Then, actually, speaking of slates, small slate boutique labels. So anything that puts out 15 or less titles. Which one of them has the best list of titles that released in 2024? Deaf Crocodile, Fun City Editions, Connie, Mondo Macabro, and Second Sight, all duking it out for this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Then, of course, that means large slate boutique is next. We got Arrow Video, Criterion, Kino Lorber, Severin, and Vinegar Syndrome. Again, nigh impossible to choose. Kino kind of cheating, putting out 250 titles a year.
Man, I feel the tension mounting as I look at these.
Only a couple left now. Best new label, Bleeding Skull, Cartoona, Celluloid Dreams, Cinematograph, or Graveface Films. This is an interesting slate as well.
I have a feeling what's going to win, but that's a good group.
It is a good group for sure.
So sub-labels count as labels?
Yes, because theoretically they are, curated entirely differently. Both of the ones that are sub-labels there are different packaging altogether.
That's true. I had to get a whole different size shelf for one of those.
Sorry, Sibner, I cannot agree with that at all.
What did they put out?
They put out the Case of the Bloody Iris.
Oh, wait, what's the one that's coming? Black Belly the Tarantula?
Black Belly the Tarantula, and then they also announced Short Night of Glass Dolls.
I love Short Night of Glass Dolls. Yeah, man. Well, good for them.
Then you have Best Region B label. Whoever's focused in Region B, you got Arrow, Imprint, Indicator, Radiance, and Second Sight. Should point out here, Umbrella just barely missed making the cutoff here.
No Eureka.
No Eureka. Eureka did not even get close. I got to be honest. Yeah.
Wow. But their Louis Fouillade box set is all over the place.
It's true. Region A label is Arrow, Criterion, Kino, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome. Another tough slate to fight in there.
Bitches ain't loyal, I'll tell you what.
Then finally, look at this, dude. Best overall release. This one has 10 nominees to choose from. All the Haunts BRs, Volume 2, The Blair Witch Project, Frank Capra at Columbia, Game of Clones, Hollywood 90028, Shawscope Volume 3, Hitcher 4K, The Keep 4K, Neverending Story 4K, and then sneaking in at the end, Trick or Treat 4K from Red Shirt and Synapse.
I will say this. The slate of nominees for Best Overall Release, I think, is a great indication of the kind of community that this is. I mean, what other award show is going to put up Frank Capra and Trick or Treat in the same category?
Yep.
Or The Neverending Story and the Game and Bruce Splitation. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So that is the full list of categories. Like I said, voting is open for the entire month of January. You can check these out. As you get more of your December titles in, watch those before you vote because they might be some of your favorites as well. The other couple things you should know is the live show will be on February 16th. This is the Sunday after Super Bowl Sunday. We will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to be doing giveaways during the show. We're going to be doing a bunch of other surprises. The award show is treated like a real show, that we're going to have videos be a part of it. People are going to be posting responses to it. We've got labels that will be reacting to their wins, stuff like that. It is going to be a fun, impressive night, and I hope that you will join us for it.
I want to highlight Craig's comment about not enough people have seen Field Day yet. Yeah, and being released in December means that it'll be screwed in next year's shelf shot as well. So sad, very sad, but I hope people do see Field Day because it's kind of awesome.
Truly is. All right, that was my stuff. Let's get into your wish list first.
Oh, I don't know. I think people are getting tired.
It's only been 2.5 hours, my friend.
Well, I'll go quick then.
Okay.
I had a very good year last year in terms of movies that had been on DVD, and then just like suddenly got upgraded, like The Undertaker and His Pals, like, oh my God. So the Bloodorama Volume 2, release of the year. I noticed it wasn't nominated for anything. Robbed. Should have won everything. Never thought Fudo, The Next Generation would come out on 4K. Simple Plan, of course. The announcement of the new box set from Cauldron that has Black Demons and Simple Plan. We got Hawk the Slayers coming out. Just couldn't have been happier about how things with Sex and Fury. So I thought I would throw up some titles just in the hopes that, my prayers, my kisses in the wind might lead to some Blu-ray or 4K magic. So first, I just want to flash some movies that have Warner Brothers logos on them in the hopes that the archive might finally give us Sergeant Rutledge, Woody Strode, John Ford, kind of a big deal. Wuthering Heights, William Wyler, holy cow, one of the greatest films ever made. Laurence Olivier. Wuthering Heights, Merle Oberon. Let's get it. Crush Groove. Are you kidding? We did a Michael Campus Renaissance. Crush Groove. I want to see John Frankenheimer's great The Gypsy Moths get a restoration. Elia Kazan. Well, speaking of Warren Beatty mistreating women, here he mistreats Natalie Wood. Splendor in the Grass. Great. And of course, we've talked about this one before. Stan and I both love Jay Underwood, The Boy Who Could Fly. All of these are Warner Brothers titles. Love to see them upgraded. Be happy to provide any special features.
Yes, please.
All right. So I haven't even gotten into my regular list. I'm just showing batches. All right. We've been told that this will never happen, but I just want to flash them. Severin did a great service with some William Girdler titles, Day of the Animals, Grizzly, but we're still waiting for Abby.
Yes,
one of the great Exorcist ripoffs. We're still waiting for Asylum of Satan. That's a Something Weird video title. Yeah. And we were told to our face that this would never happen, but I'm wishing for it anyway. Three on a Meat Hook, one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, languishing on an Alpha Video DVD, which is not a place I would want to languish myself. All right, I'm about to get into the proper list, but I also have to show the Hanzo the Razor series. You familiar with Hanzo the Razor?
I've not seen anything at length, but I've seen clips of a couple.
He's Hanzo the Razor Itami, the incorruptible and uncompromising samurai cop, and he packs a weapon more devastating than any sword. That's his penis.
And then you muted yourself.
Did I unmute? Yeah. It was because I had to cough. Okay. Here we go. These are my top movies that I want to come out. Are you ready?
I can't wait for this.
Okay, so there's no cover for this one because it's in a box set only. A Very Special Favor, starring Rock Hudson and Leslie Caron. I don't even want to tell you what it's about, but it's so hilarious. Okay, I'll tell you. Leslie Caron plays a single professional woman, and her dad wants her to be domesticated and married and pumping out babies. So he hires Rock Hudson to seduce his daughter, Leslie Caron. And it's one of the most sexist romantic comedies ever made, but it's so funny. So I want A Very Special Favor. Speaking of sexism, I want 7 Men from Now, the best Bud Buddicker movie, one of the best Lee Marvin performances ever, definitely the best Randolph Scott performance. And Gail Russell is a treasure taken from us too early. 7 Men from Now, one of the all-time greatest Westerns. Right?
All right.
I hope people are chiming in. All right.
They are. Jeremy says, I thought Will said this was going to be quick. Sibner says, what are we talking about? I'm just kidding. Evan says, we are overdue for a Hanzo upgrade. And then I don't know if you saw, Colton says, planning to watch all of Girdler this year as a Kentucky filmmaker deep dive.
Well, 3 on Mihawk will change your life. Why isn't The Day the Earth Stood Still out yet?
That's a damn good question.
You know, I'm not the kind of person who says, why no 4K? But why no 4K? Like, you can get a better copy of the Keanu Reeves version. You know? Day the Earth Stood Still. Seminal. Seminal. And, you know, I would never complain. I would never look a gift horse in the mouth. We got such a treasure trove of Doris Wishman movies from AGFA, but one title that was noticeably missing was A Night to Dismember.
Yep.
Which has a fantastic commentary by Wishman herself. Night to Dismember. I'd like to see that one. Keeping it with something weird, one of my favorite Christian anti-drug propaganda films, Blood Freak. Love to see Blood Freak get a good release. If you've never seen Blood Freak, you're missing out.
Or the one that's highly requested.
Absolutely wonderful movie. Okay. One of the most important film noir yet to be released, and this is in like public domain or something.
Film Masters. Come on.
Yeah. DOA. Rudolph Mattei's great film, DOA. Yep. You thought this was going to be entertaining, but it's just me.
It's just shouting into the void.
Shouting. Yeah. All right. I got to talk about Vibrations for a second. Are you familiar with this movie?
No, but I see the names.
All right. Christina Applegate, James Marshall of Twin Peaks fame. Marshall plays a musician who gets attacked by some bullies, and his hands are chopped off. So he can't play music anymore, and he gets real depressed. And so Christina Applegate is like, quit being so depressed. You're depressing me. And so Marshall is given some artificial hands. And so now instead of shredding on his guitar, he learns how to play rave music on the synthesizers. And so he creates this robotic or this cybertronic persona, and he starts doing raves in garages with his fake hands. And this is awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesus, Franco Zeffirelli's Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. This movie is wonderful. It'll make you a believer. Obi-Wan Kenobi plays the Pope. Donovan does the soundtrack. And this is the hippiest Christian movie ever. We love Franco Zeffirelli. No one is underage in this movie. It's okay to like it. All right.
Now it just feels bad.
Speaking of child stars taken from us too soon, Corey Haim, along with Patricia Arquette in Prayer of the Roller Boys, a near-future dystopia in which drug dealers are all inline skaters who skate in formation. This is awesome. Prayer of the Roller Boys. Someone help me out. Ted V. Michaels is probably best known for The Corpse Grinders, but he's almost as well known for Blood Orgy of the She-Devils. Come on, people. Blood Orgy of the She-Devils.
Oh, man.
Earlier, I can't remember who, but somebody asked us what our first masturbation movies were. Tanya's Island. I alluded to this one last month. So it's the second movie by the guy who made Alice, Sweet Alice. And it stars Vanity. And it's about a woman in an abusive relationship who finds a new relationship with a gorilla. And it's great. Tanya's Island. Tanya's Island. Okay, halfway there. Speaking of Corey Haim, you're probably familiar with Just One of the Guys, but have you seen Just One of the Girls? This is actually a good movie, and it has a lot to say about gender. Corey Haim pretends to be a lady. Years before Rob Schneider did it.
Tastefully?
I mean, more. Okay. Thomasine and Bushrod. Come on.
Half of these movies do not sound real.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. This is one of the great... All right, so this is a Max Julien film. Western. Modern Western. This is fantastic. Needs a release.
Craig says more than half.
Almost done. I'm getting there. Don't forget about Ladybugs. The film that Quentin Tarantino doesn't want you to see. He wants you to see that rapey porno, but he doesn't want you to see City on Fire.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's a real big one. Ringo Lamb. Why no 4K? City on Fire. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing this. Next up, going to Thailand. Tears of the Black Tiger. Are you familiar with this one?
I've heard the name.
It's a Thai spaghetti western love story that will make you weep. It is impossible to watch this movie without crying, but you're also going to laugh a lot because the spaghetti western parts are hilarious.
What makes it a spaghetti western if it's Thai?
Do you see the cover?
I do.
Yeah. Well, it's a Thai movie, but it's a spoof of spaghetti westerns.
Got it.
Partly, but it's also like a this like romance, this doomed romance that's super. And it's gorgeous. This really needs a 4K because the colors, the compositions. This is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. Pad Thai Western. Craig's awesome. Tears of the Black Tiger. I thought everybody would have seen this one. I almost didn't show this because I figured it was on everybody's list. Seriously? You don't know Tears of the Black Tiger? Okay, great. Strangely enough, given the times we're in, and given the fact that 2024 was the 30th anniversary, we need PCU, which is completely unavailable. It's not streaming. It's only available on an out-of-print DVD, which I have. This is 1994, a sort of satire of political correctness. David Spade, Jessica Walters, Jeremy Piven, Jon Favreau. This is a great, great comedy. Super fun. And if you came of age in the 80s and 90s, it's absolutely great. Two things in the comments. Flickering Waves is correct. The gorilla was made by Rick Baker and Rob Bottin. And Sibner mentioned the great C. Thomas Howell, Ray Don Chong, James Earl Jones film Soul Man. And said, if it's not in my pile, I've failed. It was in my pile. I actually cut like 30 titles.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Five left. I'm going to go in order of how much I want. Jeremy Piven, his his dad's like a talent agent, so that's how he got started. Bee Monkey, Michael Radford film, starring Rupert Everett and Asia Argento. This movie is pretty awesome. It's kind of like a erotic thriller. Yeah. Good stuff.
Looks like a prequel to M. Butterfly.
Could be. Yeah. Asia Argento, Rupert Everett. Seijun Suzuki's final film, which stars Zhang Ziyi from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Princess Raccoon. We all love Seijun Suzuki, do we not?
Oh, was that rhetorical? Okay. Yes.
Princess Raccoon. 3 left. Speaking of Sidney J. Fury, Detention. Dolph Lundgren.
Of course.
Dolph Lundgren trapped a terrorist, has shut down a school, and Dolph Lundgren must infiltrate it through the crack in the world. This movie is dope. Detention needs a new edition. All right, my final 2. This is like my white whale. Midnight Madness.
Yes.
Okay, now we're in familiar territory. Come on.
It's a big deal.
We need this.
Unfortunately, you see the reason why that will never be released, probably.
Because it's MG. Wait, no, it's Disney, right?
It's Disney, yeah.
Well, they released The Scarlet Witch. The WandaVision.
Yeah, it's modern. They want to make money off of that.
Well, I just feel like I'm hoping.
There's bootlegs of that out there.
Well, I don't need a bootleg. I've got the DVD. I want a better edition. Some people are mentioning Kindergarten Cop 2, which does star Dolph Lundgren, and he is undercover in a Montessori school, and it's kind of hilarious. There's a great scene where he unpacks his lunch and he has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All right, my last one is the one that I actually have the most hope for because it's a trauma license title. I've mentioned it before. Merchants of Death, starring PJ Souls, William Smith. This movie is amazing. It has a climactic battle between a good guy and a bad guy, in which the good guy is whipping him with a whip and saying, "Ooh, you like that, don't you?" It's amazing. Merchants of Death is my favorite trauma license title that has not yet been released, even more so than Wizards of the Demon Sword, the Fred Olin Ray film. All right, that's it.
I want to contribute at least some, so I'll throw out there Cecil B. Demented. How do we not have that yet? How do we not have Pecker yet?
I was going to say, not to mention Pecker, yeah.
Those are 2 pretty damn big ones. We've had it teased as possibly coming from Indicator, and then the rumor is that this is off completely. Where is California Split? I know that's one people have wanted for quite some time. Another big one from when I was younger, Dead Presidents, obviously is on a lot of people's list of like, hey, this absolutely needs to be on Blue. After he's gotten so much love, where is The Dark Backward? I know that Adam Rifkin is hit or miss for a lot of people, but that's one that we certainly should have.
Where's the chase?
Yeah. I would love to see the original House Party on Blu-ray. I know it doesn't mean that it's... Well, let me start that over. I know it likely will not happen, but I would love to see the modern Soderbergh Kimmy out on some sort of physical media release. Really enjoyed that movie a couple years ago, but it's just a Hulu film, so probably not going to happen at all. Gosh, there's so many more of these that could do well, like The Night Flyer. I know that's one that people want, and it's related to Stephen King. How do we not have that yet?
Prom Night 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Especially 2, obviously.
I moderate the Scream Factory group on Facebook, and I would love to see somebody put out Carnosaur just so I can see people stop begging for it.
Carnosaur. Oh. And any number of Jim Wynorski movies that have not yet made.
Of course. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, just out of a random selection, only one Blu-ray Sorceress, which Synapse put out. But we've got Hard Bounty, Pandora Project, The Assault, Stormtrooper, Militia, Rangers, Final Voyage, Desert Thunder, Ablaze. I can go on.
Last thing I'll mention is we had a couple spoof films that I loved when I was younger. Like, how do we not have Spy Hard on Blu-ray yet? That'd be damn good for me. I'd love that. Yeah, I think that's it from that list.
Dear God, you know what I watched a couple weeks ago?
No.
Vampires Suck.
Oh, jeez.
And I read about it, and it said that the guys who made it, like every movie they make is awful, and everybody hates them. And I watched it, and it was awful, and I hated it. But I was in the mood for a parody movie. But they don't make them like they used to.
No, that's absolutely true. Speaking of not making things like they used to, the year in review. I know there's a couple things that we've wanted to discuss as like highs and lows from 2024. One of the big things, and I know that this is sort of discussed at length by everybody and looked down upon. I'm kind of really tired of the whole cardboard war going on. Limited editions getting stuck with releases just to get a hard box release or a slipcover that doesn't really enhance what we're getting in any way. I mean, you and I discussed this week. I would love to see a label take a staunch stand and say, it would be swell to put out a limited edition where the only thing that's limited about it is like maybe a disc with a few extra bonus features. Would people still buy that? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, this is something that I've been harping on for a while. And I think other people who produce supplemental features will say the same thing. And I don't blame labels for this. Most labels don't have a whole lot of extra cash to throw around.
Right.
But, for people who write and produce audio commentaries and visual essays and interviews and stuff.
And written essays.
The pay is very low.
Yeah. Across the board.
And it's not reflected in the price of the release, I don't think. Whereas a slipcover adds between $2 and $5. Some kind of lenticular thing adds $10.
Sometimes, yeah.
And people clamor for it and get upset when they miss out on the slips. And I would really like to see a label say, you know what? You can get a bare bones edition that has this great restoration or even a 4K restoration for X price point. You can get an edition that's got commentary and interviews and visual essays for X price point. And you can get, a deluxe one with the cardboard if you want, I guess.
And make that one like $40 more.
Yeah. I wonder if people really value the supplemental features enough to pay for them and incentivize companies to invest more in them. I was just telling you the other day, right? I listened to an audio commentary that a boutique label put on a new release And it was so insultingly bad that I got angry. Like the person doing the commentary was actively said, you know what? You're going to hear a lot of like silent parts because it's really a chore to fill up 90 minutes. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you know, like we write this stuff.
And that was an expensive release too.
Yeah. And so, you know, I recognize that there's some variance in the quality of supplemental features, but if you were actually paying for them, then labels would have more incentive to be discerning about who they worked with.
And not only, you know, paying for them, but also giving feedback on them, letting labels know, hey, we appreciate seeing this contributor. And this isn't even just talking about Will or anybody with SFP. We're at the point where some of these people are, you know, asked to do a commentary, and Will wasn't kidding. Some of the places that pay for commentaries are literally like a couple dollars an hour for the amount of work that we do on some of these commentaries. And it is crazy that there's so many people that just plain never hear them. And for the people that it's important to, I'm glad that it's important to you, but most people would rather pay $7 more to get a slipcover than $1 more to get a well-informed, properly researched audio commentary.
Yeah, and I would like to talk more. Maybe next month we can talk about the evolution of audio commentaries over the past 25 years, which I think is really interesting, and which has been a subject of some controversy in the commentary world over the past few years. So we'll save that for the February show. But yeah, you know, this goes back to, I'm sure a lot of people, or maybe some people, listened to Mike from Grindhouse Video kind of weigh in on the cardboard wars and supplemental features in his live stream. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
It was December 15th, if you want to go back and watch the live stream over on the Grindhouse Video YouTube channel.
And he talks about some other stuff that I'm not going to comment on because I think you don't need my opinion. Just listen to Mike and look around on Reddit. But I was really intrigued to hear his perspective on packaging versus supplemental features. And look, I like a nice slipcover, and I raved about the special edition packaging that, for example, Deaf Crocodile has, and Synapse has similar packaging. I just held up Trick or Treat a few minutes ago. Like, that's really cool. I don't mind a little extra for a package that really looks nice on the shelf and I don't know, adds a touch of class to it. But to me, the supplemental number one is the movie itself, and number two is the supplemental features that help me learn about the movie or about themes in the movie. And the packaging is the least important, which is one of the reasons I probably have so many Kino titles. Right? They just started putting slipcovers on recently, and they're not like anything special. So I don't know. I saw Craig made a comment earlier that like a lot of people don't even watch the movies. They just get the package and put it on a shelf.
Yep.
And, you know, I guess, I mean, you need anybody who's going to buy something for any reason is good for a company. So I don't know what they're doing, but great. I'm glad they're buying stuff. Oh yeah. And I want to say that too. I also love the idea that commentaries can come out as podcasts so that people can listen to them without necessarily having to be tied to the living room where they're watching the movie. I think any kind of innovation that allows people to access the features in as many ways as possible, whether through transcripts or through podcasts or whatever.
Right.
But one of the points that Mike was making, and I hope he's wrong about this, and he said he hopes he was wrong about this. He's on the kind of this industry has about 5 years left. He's in that camp. But he said that, he felt like one of the reasons is that the cardboard wars are pricing people out of the hobby. And so you go back to, we mentioned the price of virtuosity and Congo, like if it costs $50 to get a copy of Congo, what are we doing?
And that's the thing with stuff like that. Do we really need a movie in a case, in a slip, in a box with a fancy ribbon to pull it out with a big, there's so much that goes into that.
Yeah. And it's funny because Severin has some of the most intricate packaging around, like Kathy's Curse, for example. But I know David Gregory hates it. He says so every time he gets a chance. And I remember back in the day when, I would get Shout and Scream Factory stuff with the little flimsy slip covers on them. I'd throw those away, because they would just get dinged up, and look kind of bad. So I don't know the answer to any of this stuff. The point of the rant is I wish people valued the supplemental features more in general, the commentaries and the visual essays, because those are the things that add real value to the movie. The packaging is nice, but it doesn't have anything to do with anything.
I also think it's important to kind of highlight the word choice that you just made, which is supplemental features. When we're constantly marketing these as bonus features or special features, it doesn't really show you what these features actually can do. And one of the things that we've tried to do with all of the Someone's Favorite production stuff that we've done is the visual essay or commentary that we're providing, is it increasing the value of the film that you purchased? And so far, we've been able to say for everything that's the case. Obviously, text essays and written essays are the same. And I've been trying to lobby for years for all these boutique labels. Instead of just hiding those written essays for the first 1,000 releases that sell, can we release those as a PDF after those limited editions sell out so that everybody can access them? If somebody put the time in to research something for weeks and you paid them, I don't know, a couple $100 for a written essay, and now only 1,000 people have it, and out of those 1,000, how many are even going to read it? Many of us want to be able to read it and didn't get it on release day, and now it's gone. Put it on the website. We'd love to be able to read it.
I'm just thinking about the fact that if 1,000 people read a booklet essay, that would be more than bought my Toby Hooper book.
Yeah.
Fuck me. So I see a lot of interesting comments in the chat that add a lot of important perspectives to the conversation. FOMO fears, overextending oneself as a collector, which I'm certainly guilty of, because I'm constantly like, well, I might teach this one day, or I might need it for research or for a book or something. Or sometimes I'll justify it like, well, if I buy it on sale and then watch it and don't like it, I can sell it and make back most of the money I spent. Which sometimes happens, but usually the stuff just stays on the shelf. And some people are super into supplemental features. Some people are like, I never try them. Some people we know have started trying them for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, except that I wish that, and I mean, it would take, I don't know, some companies, I guess, place more value on supplementals than others, and promote them more. I mean, certainly there are some names that we all know.
Yep.
Stan says I should require people to buy my book. If you require, fun fact, if a professor requires students to buy the book that they wrote, they have to go through a very cumbersome conflict of interest administrative process.
Good.
Well, okay, except if you hire me to teach a subject that I'm an expert in, and I wrote the book that I'm an expert on the subject that I'm an expert on, shouldn't that be the book?
I should have been a part of that process.
Like, why would I be like, oh, I'm an expert on this, but you don't have to read the expert thing that I wrote. You can just read this other fucking idiot.
Right.
It's kind of, but then really the only people, the professors who abuse that stuff are the STEM people. I know this is off topic, but if you're in college, you take a math or a science course, you have to buy some book that costs like $150, and it has some like computer program associated with it, and the professor who wrote that book is going to write a new forward for it every couple of years so that they can get a new edition and a new computer program associated with it, so that you can never get a used book or reuse something. They're the ones, the science and math people are the ones that gouge students. The humanities people are like, oh, you can buy my book used, no big deal. The important thing is that you get something out of it. We screw ourselves.
Here's the site to pirate it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's like this. It's like working for not just people who make supplemental features, but the people who run the boutiques themselves. They're like, none of them are making millions of dollars.
No, and
not even Vinegar Syndrome.
We definitely want to point out that we do understand, like, costs are going up on everything. I mean, even multiple of the boutiques that we've talked about tonight in one way or another license from Paramount, and Paramount is going through some changes right now, and their licensing prices are going up because everything is more expensive nowadays. And so stuff like that is difficult, and I get that. Proper restoration, getting updates from Craig on some of the films that he's restoring and how much work goes into these frame by frame by frame. It's a lot of work, and that's people just, I don't know. There's good things to support and are worth that money, but do we need to put $15 into a release just to have a hard box and a slipcover and magnets involved? And I don't know. Like, I have a Jess Franco tree topper. Why do I have that? I know that you're going to push back on that, but
It's funny. I don't have that. I looked at the price and I was like, I can't do it. I want it.
Yep.
Yeah.
For twice retail.
Yeah. And I mean, I like fancy packaging. I do. I just don't think it should be valued more highly than the supplementals, and it requires an investment on the not just a monetary investment, but an investment of marketing to increase people's interest in supplemental features. Like, I don't know about you. I don't get controversial, but I really hate sexists. And I'm going to relate, I'm going to somehow yoke what I'm talking about to women's sports. So hear me out for a second. I'll go fast. So people like Megan Rapinoe, right, in professional women's soccer, talk a lot about pay equity. The WNBA talks a lot about pay equity, right? And they're constantly getting pushback from people, mostly men, who are like, well, nobody watches, so you're not as valuable as male athletes because you don't bring in as much revenue.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but the reason, right, that we all watch men's soccer and men's basketball and men's this and men's that is because of decades of marketing and investment and publicity, and then putting this product in front of us and saying, here it is, watch, college football and care about it. Watch college basketball and care about it, and watch professional whatever. If that same amount of investment and time were put into women's sports, and as we are beginning to see, there will be an increase in interest, right? And we've definitely seen that over the last year with Caitlin Clark and some of the other ones.
Angel Reese.
Yes, Angel Reese. She's great. I love her. And so I look at supplemental features kind of in the same principle, right? Because they haven't been emphasized and highlighted and marketed. And sometimes, right, some stars will break through, right? We all know Sam Deegan. We know people like Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson and Howard Berger and so on, right? But a lot of times they break through because of their own efforts, not because of promotion from the labels.
Right.
It's because they do the podcasts and they're prolific and they gain a reputation for quality, and they become such a familiar name because every release has their damn name on it.
They literally are building a brand.
Right.
That's why they're writing books and helping with documentaries and starting Patreons and doing all of those things to make sure that you see all of their hard work goes into all of this. Right.
And a lot of them are doing it without additional support from the labels.
Yeah.
And I hope that begins to change. I hope that and I think one of the points of someone's favorite productions is to build connections and collaborate among so many of these writers and producers and researchers
and labels too.
Labels, so that the work gets more valued. And
that's where we'd love to see promotion. We get a trailer for a film coming out in a release. How about a trailer for some of the features? Make it a minute long, highlight your favorite part. If you're working at a label, highlight the favorite part of a commentary, a couple stills from a visual essay, or, play 12 seconds of it. That's your IP now. You're the label. Make that into a supplemental trailer that you can put on social media and get people going, oh, I get this stuff too. Instead of just reading about what it is, now I can see what those are.
Oh, add it to the main trailer.
Yeah. Make a 5-minute trailer. We'd love to see that.
In a world where Ryan Verrill and Will Dodson talk about cats having sex.
Sadomasochism is on the rise. The cruel thing too that is not really a part of this, but actually should be highlighted. One of the highlights of Canada in 1983, the government helped fund some of these pieces of entertainment, and so that alone got things made. Japan right now is doing that. They have an entertainment fund that they're filling into things like home video. And if we had stuff like that coming all the way down from the government or at the state level or whatever, where they could actually help supplement costs for things that enlighten and encourage the education through art, a lot of this stuff would be so much better. I mean, the fact that we have National Archives, literally choosing what films to restore based on how soon they're likely to explode is a problem.
Right.
I mean, that sentence alone, that's scary.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that the NEA and NEH are going to have super robust budgets over the next few years. So we can maybe apply for some grants. It is funny to think about the fact that David Cronenberg's first 5 or 6 films were paid for by Canadian tax dollars.
And now armpit vaginas are out there for the world to see.
Oh, and it's a better place for it. I love Rabid. That's a great movie.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I'm not even going to get into the economics of streaming, which has absolutely gutted the film industry.
And again, we started tonight talking literally about positivity. This is not all meant to be negative. It's just literally, this is all about our love for this stuff. We want this to thrive. This
is what we want to see happen. This is what should happen. Let's celebrate some of these people, let's celebrate Kat Ellinger. Let's celebrate Howard Berger. Let's celebrate Sam Deegan and all the other great researchers and writers and commentators. It's hard. It's not easy at all. And when you hear a bad commentary, holy shit.
And I wasn't really going to say this, but maybe I should. One of the things that I think that we've kind of done best as we've done this whole someone's favorite thing for the last year and a half is visual essays are some of the most hit or miss items on these releases across the board. Some of them are pure garbage. They are not good in any sense of the word. And we are really trying to make it so what we put on the disc is going to make you look at the film afterwards in a completely different light and enjoy it more. I genuinely think everything that we've put out for a visual essay is educational or exciting or innovating in a couple different ways. Some of them, we've even done essentially mini documentaries on quite a few of these. The Jack Arnold piece on Film Masters is essentially a documentary, and that alone is better than a 4-minute sizzle reel that they call a visual essay. That's not a visual essay. That's just kind of like fun editing, sure, but that's not. Nobody's looking at that for supplementing the feature that you're putting on the disc.
I've seen some recently that have upset me greatly. I don't want to name the label or the essay, but oh my God. There's been stuff I've seen that have made me want to, I'm done. I'm never going to, I'm done with this. I wasted my money. I'm selling it,
Likewise, I've seen visual essays in the last few months that I've watched and said, I'm done with this. I could never do that well.
Yeah.
There are so many great pieces out there as well, but some of these labels, I fear, are you even holding yourself to a standard on some of these too? Or telling the people that you hire, this could be better. This isn't that good.
Yeah. And I think that's that kind of quality control, would benefit from increasing the sort of marketing and publicity around the supplemental features.
Yeah,
but some labels do it almost to a fault. Everything that TerraVision releases has so many supplemental features that I'm just like, what?
And that's what I'm getting at. That's the bar nowadays. If you look at something from Deaf Crocodile, from we talked about tonight, Saturn's Core, Canadian International Pictures, Arbulos, all of these labels that they look at a filmmaker and say, Well, do you happen to have 17 short films that we could have? Did you ever do any music videos? Can we interview 7 people attached to this movie and try to compress it all into this disc? And the fact that we get those is incredible. And then we get stuff that you're paying like $43 for a Blu-ray for a film that isn't like really well restored, and you get a bad commentary and a visual essay that's 6 minutes of somebody telling you the Wikipedia article on the director, essentially.
Yeah, that would be bad.
I hate those releases.
Let me tell you, whoever owns the rights to Vibrations, if you want the greatest commentary that has ever been written, we are here for you.
Oh, man. That was such a good transition.
This was not supposed to be this long. That's what she said.
Any other thoughts?
You know what? That's what anybody in my radio said.
Yeah. Sibner wants to know, why is a studio like Shout putting out something like The Holdovers that was nominated for Best Picture, and all we get is like 3 interviews with the craft service people for 5 minutes? The hard part, and I mean, this is kind of across the board for a lot of these extras, a lot of the labels just don't have a lot of money. And so if people are like, yeah, we'll do it, but we have to be paid for our time, suddenly that makes the interviews impossible.
Well, isn't The Holdovers just like some people staying in a college and eating in the cafeteria for a month? I would think craft services would actually be a good interview for that one.
Okay, that was good. That was funny.
Yeah, you know. I mean, there are some filmmakers, right, who are like, I don't want any commentaries or I don't want any supplemental features because of quality control, right? They're worried some asshole like me is going to get hired to talk about Inland Empire for 3 hours.
Right.
And David Lynch is like, I don't want Will Dodson to talk about Inland Empire and have people think that that's what it means.
Right. And then you get...
That's fine.
Another thing to rant about, I guess, like how thankless some of this is. Shout out right now, Daniel Kramer, who twice this year in 2024 put out his own commentaries, only him, for 2 films that were over 3 hours long. That is, 1, terrifying, and 2, so much more work than people have any idea about. It is crazy that he is able to put in that much time. He's an incredible filmmaker, but the stuff that he's doing, it is really hard to keep up the pace with people that are excellent at it like that.
And
that's why I appreciate you. You're incredible at what you do.
Thank you for saying that. You know what we should do is we should see about organizing some panels of producers at some conventions.
Already been discussed about behind the scenes. We're looking at some of this stuff. Yeah, we would love to. We'd love to highlight some of this for sure.
Maybe pop by people's tables and host some Q&As and mingle with aficionados of cinema.
I mean, even just to like show everybody how much work I have Sam Deegan sit down and show how much research goes into one title. Like tonight, we announced something that she's doing a visual essay and a commentary on one film. Mm-hmm. I mean, you probably could almost write a book on everything that she gathered for that film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I went at the Carolina Fear Fest, something like that. Or some con that was in North Carolina. And me and John Daly went there because Ryan and Chloe Graveface were doing a TerrorVision table. And it was right after Door 2 had come out. And I think Nail Gun Massacre was out also. Yes, both of those were out, and they were on display. And, chicks would come by the table, and I'd be like, Nail Gun Massacre, that's me.
That's my name.
and they would call security, and but no, like, it would be cool, right, to have people who do substantive visual essays and commentaries kind of be at cons and have that and be like, hey, if you come to the TerraVision table, we'll have a couple people who produced extras for the extras, that's one of the words we don't like to say, who produced supplemental features for such and such. I'm not saying we have to give autographs or anything, but to be able to like talk to people about like, oh yeah, we did this.
The whole point, yeah.
It's part of selling the product. Like, here's some things you'll learn if you check out Nail Gun Massacre. And also you can listen to 2 tracks by the Hysteria Continues if you need help falling asleep. I like the way you never say anything when I mention them by name.
This has been a fun talk and an important talk.
Good segue.
Will, 3.5 hours. Anything else you wanna bring up tonight?
Good luck, everybody. It's going to be an interesting year. Some shit's going down. Take care of yourselves and each other. Great man said that once.
Lots of great things happening behind the scenes. Can't wait to share more on those. Will and I keep laughing about this, but the first commentary we ever did together has still not been announced, and that is hopefully happening very soon. So we'll see about that, and then we can finally share the story about how all of SFP even started to begin with.
One of these days.
As I mentioned earlier, if you are at all interested in carrying on conversations like this, join the Disconnected Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. Come be in the Discord 24/7, like many of us are. We'd love to have you. Looking forward to the rest of the month. We've got some fun guests lined up, some returners that people seem to enjoy that haven't been on in quite some time. Other than that, be safe. I know it's about to be super like winter vortex across much of the U.S., so if you're in the line of that, good luck, because supposedly I'm about to get like a foot of snow. No, thank you.
You know what else would be good 4K restoration? The Ringmaster. I love that.
On that note, thank you, Will, for tonight. We'll see y'all next week. And if you want more of Dr. Will Dodson, check the links in the description. And Will will be on in the next month. We'll see.
Valentine's.
See ya. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description.